What's up, guys, and welcome back. It is time for us to hop into the action once again right here with the Central Region qualifiers coming through for the International African Gaming Cup. So it is going to be quite exciting to see what the teams are going to be bringing to the battlefield. And as we know, the International Africa Gaming Cup is brought to you in partnership with the Republic of Benin and Nice Cactus, who are joining forces to offer multi-territory gaming tournaments to esport players from all over Africa. And it's going to be pretty exciting to see what everyone will be doing here. And of course, speaking about the excitement, I'm not alone. With me is going to be Mr. Dale here to share in the excitement and take us through the action as we hop onto the field.
Yeah, thank you so much, DK, and everyone else for having me. Let's do this one more time. We have the IAGC coming in, and it's going to be spectacular. That's exactly what we hope. We've seen the action for the past couple of nights, and it's time to begin again. Back to you, DK.
Yeah, so some pretty exciting stuff ahead for the teams. As we know, our top 3 teams will be qualifying through to the slots, moving in towards the continental finals. And as we know, they are going to be joining up with the 6 teams that we've already seen being able to progress through on towards that. So the 6 teams that have already made their way on through is going to be Slime Fork AT, we got the Snipers, as well as Young Thunder Gaming. Then, of course, we've got Virtual Gaming, One More Esports, and Darkness. Those are the teams that have already secured their slots. And we know for the teams here today, first place is going to be walking away with not only the slot, but also $500. Second place will be awarded $300. And then, of course, that third place also walking away with a very lovely $200 to accompany that. Now, of course, speaking about all these things, we have to take a quick look at our schedule coming through here for the day. As we know, we are going to be starting it off over on towards Erangel, after which we'll be heading straight over in towards Murmur, followed up with some of that Sanhok action, and then of course returning right back onto the home ground, the bread and butter of PUBG, which is Erangel.
That's right. So bringing it all the way back to our home ground, Erangel said there's a lot of things to see with our home ground. There's nice compound areas, good vegetation going on, nice high ground. So bringing in the action at Miramar later on in the second match, and then Sanhok bringing in a little bit more close quarter combat and back to home ground in Angle. I'm excited, DK. Can't wait for this game to get going.
Yeah, speaking about the excitement, of course, we are going to be making our way to see what that flight path is going to be coming through. Of course, there we have a little bit of a look at the teams that we have coming through that will be represented as they come in with a relatively nice flight path, starting all the way over on towards the Povka, heading right across that map over on towards the western front, passing across a little bit of that school territory as well as Gatka, not before ending up on that beautiful open coastline. So I'm quite curious to see where these teams are going to be dropping down, what kind of approach they're going to be taking here. As you know, there's going to be several options and a lot of these attainable positions really for the teams to try and get themselves situated.
That's right. So exactly. So this zonal positioning and trying to find the best place in the map to get things started is important. So whether these squads decide to jump and do it nice and early will obviously determine how far they get into this placement of the gaming. So we'll hopefully get to see some phenomenal action, some bring in some vehicles, some convoy gameplay. That's exactly what we can get to see. And that's exactly what I want. Let's see where this thing goes. The flight path is nice and cut through, starting at Lepovka, like DK said, and ending all the way into the hospital area. I'm not really familiar with the gameplay from each guy, so it makes things a little interesting for me. So I'll keep a nice eye, see what other things we can bring in.
Little interesting. I mean, I think it's more like a lot interesting as we have a beautiful look at that zone taking a super aggressive shift all the way down towards that southern portion of the map. And it's going to be interesting because it's not so often that we see the zone really moving that far down, especially now with both the bridges being within that playable area. The teams, of course, now having the opportunity to get themselves situated, moving into these regions. We can see over towards that western bridge, the players there from DEATHXDOSE already getting themselves set up, which is a pretty good call to be making. And of course, we also then see the players there from Saint also, you know, being quite proactive with their approach and looking to get a good position kind of dialed in, coming into that more centered position. We've got Ninja also not too far away there from them. And then, of course, if we look over on towards that Malta side as well, we do see the players there from 1 million also taking occupation. So a good representation of teams coming in towards this zone itself. But looking at what we are having happening all the way up in towards North and South George, I do think, you know, it's going to put a few teams off to a little bit of a shaky start.
That's right. You couldn't have said it better. So the zone making things completely interesting. Half of the teams choose the zone by luck, I guess. but it will make things interesting and takes away your normal comfort zone. But Georgia Paul will make things a little bit difficult, and we'll see hopefully some spectacular gameplay. So as you know, the Georgia Pole with the containers north and south of Georgia Pole. Let's see who gets the action. Currently looking at team number 5. No, that would be the 70 team.
Yeah, 70 looking to see if they can find a little bit of that loot to go. Fortunately for them, all the way down towards that more southern side, over on towards Hospital, it is going to be a little bit more of a smooth sailing approach for them. But if we quickly jump over to what we have here with the players coming through from the Hooligan 7, I mean, we can't really say the same here because they are sharing the space, especially with a few other teams now just occupying this region alongside them. And of course, we see the players just over on towards their eastern side being the players from Shock Esports. So there is going to be a little bit of pressure coming through, especially now on towards Hooligans, to try and get themselves not only through this looting phase, but to progress further from here. Because looking at the amount of teams we've got, there is going to be somewhat of a contentious play here for the teams to try and secure themselves those vehicles and those secure rotational paths getting further in towards that playable zone.
That's right. So some of the tactics probably has to be first. So trying to get into the battle nice and early, stretching your legs and moving close to the zone as possible so that you do not get gatekept would possibly be the greatest move that they can actually do. Which team decides to do that is all to be told. So it's something that I and myself and you, DK, need to keep an eye out on. Looking at Shock Kratos and Abud doing looting, which is probably the most prolific thing that they need to do right now. So I wonder what tactics they'll be using from there. As you know, there's vehicle available in this part of the zone. Hopefully they do not get caught within the bridge because it's a far way down to the southwest region that they have to move to.
Yeah, that Southwest Legion, I mean, I think that is especially far away, right? I'm not quite sure where they're going to be finding that Southwest Legion to come on through, but, you know, I just got to troll a little bit when I get the opportunity to do so. So, you know, don't judge me too crazily on that. But, of course, speaking about, you know, judging it, it comes down to these teams now kind of judging which positions they are looking to rotate themselves up in towards, right? As we can see, taking a look at that map not too long ago, that the teams still have a lot of options with regards to, you know, the areas and the regions they can look to occupy. But we do see a little bit of a convergence now starting to happen further down towards the playable zone itself, as we do have the teams now starting to get themselves into a little bit of a better setup. Nothing too extravagant just yet, but we can see a little bit of that convergence now happening down on towards that playable zone. We got the players there from Ninja looking to strengthen their kind of share over on towards that eastern bridge, as they are looking to move a little bit further forward. We also then have the players coming in from Mad Knight, also moving in alongside 1 million. So there is a little bit of pressure that is coming through here as the teams are continuing to get themselves established, moving into these phases. But it comes down to a little bit of a waiting game as well, right? We've seen this many times. Teams moving into position, just occupying it, but not really acting from that point necessarily.
No, so it's normally just holding ground, trying to at least own the property or the vicinity that they find, time, get comfortable, move position, and only take opportunities as they present itself. So as you see the guys moving in just below the Malta region, there's a team not too far away from them, but I think there is a big gap, so action will happen. So it's a more timeless gameplay that we might witness here tonight on game number 1. As we're still sitting on 15 teams with 55 players still remaining. So many full squads as the blue zone starts pushing in.
Yep, and a lot of great opportunities for these teams to still try and make their way on through. And speaking about opportunities, we can see a little bit of that now starting to come on through in the feed, as teams are definitely starting to pop off somewhat. Nothing overly aggressive, but we do see the players there from Mad Knight looking to assert a little bit of dominance now down towards that Malta power region, which we'll be jumping to momentarily. And they're, of course, going up against the players there from the ME Assassins. So we do see a nice bit of an exchange between both teams. And as we jump straight over on towards that, we can see Reno already down for the count. It is up to Savage and Yusuf to try and hold strong now, but because Yusuf on a beautiful off-angle approach, the players there from Mad Knight, position just down below now, just trying to hunker themselves down in towards that compound while trying to fend off any of those potential angles that could be had on towards them.
trying to gain ground on the compound region with not that much cover. Hopefully they can get away with what they're doing here as team number 13 and see if they can. We see Kingman trying to cook the grenade nice and perfectly. Will he get the action? Gets a little bit of HP and nearly cooking himself, but holding ground right now. Look at Yusuf as well.
Oh, a nice little bit of a sting coming through on that nade, but Yusuf now trying to brave the outdoors, coming in with a bit of a rush there. Savage now also gets to step on up and defend the honor of the team, but that is going to be all she wrote as they push on through. And it is going to be the players there from Mad Knight to get that squad wipe, walking away with those 4 eliminations already locked into their name. And that, of course, is our first team getting sent back. But with that, we are down to now 14 remaining teams. We do have that blue zone continuing to make its way further and further forward, tightening up on the playable area these teams have at their disposal. But this is the exciting part, right? Because now we get to see where these teams are going to be looking to rotate towards. Also, we do have a little bit of that development happening down on towards that far southern edge of the zone as well.
Yeah, that's right. So as we see the action, Emin kind of losing one of their players while they exposed themselves was the other team. So let's see exactly where the map will take them, what direction they will choose. It's interesting if I can just get a better view of the map so I can see what rotation and what game plan they'll be doing.
Yeah, so it is going to be the players here now from Mad Knight, still just quickly trying to get their loot situation dealt with and sorted before looking to advance any further on towards that zone itself, as we can see that zone now taking a little bit of a shift, suggesting a beautiful closure on towards that eastern bridge. So we do already see the players there from 1 million as well as Ninja now just looking to strengthen up and just look to fortify it, at least, as they still know that there's quite a few teams yet to rotate on through. And this is where they are definitely going to be put to the test. Of course, also Kingerman now just, misjudging that gap a slight tad bit, coming in with a little bit of a crash there. But it is going to be a great opportunity for these teams once again to get themselves a little bit better situated. We can have Kingerman right here now just quickly trying to grab some of that extra little bit of loot before rolling any further on forward. But we do see the players from Saint also now playing on towards that far southern approach. We're going to be jumping over across on towards them momentarily as soon as everything loads up on this side. And there we go. There we have it. The players there from Saint now just trying to get some good positions locked in. And again, we know center zone is that eastern bridge, right? So that is going to be quite troubling for a lot of these teams, as there's no guarantee that they'll be able to find a good position. But that's the beauty of this new bridge dynamic, right? They are actually able to kind of move in on either sides of those bridge, just looking to play in a little bit of a different angle.
That's right. So it's a perfect observation, and good that you brought that up with the bridge. So it's a first come, first serve. So the person or the teams that actually get there first can have full advantage and take advantage of anyone that has to cross over, finding themselves nice and central. But it's normally a red flag if you find yourself a little bit too late. So let's see what action that they can bring. The Saint, if they can hold the fort for anyone doing drive-bys so they can do a clean sweep.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to try and, just keep up the defenses here. But speaking about defenses, right, we do see still several teams positioned up on towards that more northern position, right, holding on towards that mainland angle. And one of those teams that we find in that position is going to be the players here from Shock. Now, just looking to inch the way on forward, they do have a little bit of an angle coming through down on towards the players there from Sparta. You can see Storm 5-1, right, position just down below. We also then have the players, I believe that's from the side of CRYPTICS, also still looking to push on through, looking for that opening to get themselves situated up in towards the zone. But with these 14 teams, 50 players still alive, it's going to be quite tedious for teams to potentially get themselves set up on towards that southern island, should the zone decide to swing that way.
Yeah, the zone can be unpredictable. It will obviously change things if the zone decides to push further north. As we see the guys that just get snuck there from the 70, that's extra, getting some extra service with some metal jackets and sent back to the lobby. So yeah, the zone will make things a little interesting with my familiarity of everyone moving. If the zone pushes north, it will make things difficult for anyone found in that melee area. And if it pushes south, let's see if we can get some of that bridge battle action coming in.
Yeah, and of course now it is going to be the players here from Shock that will have to deal with that pressure coming through from CRYPTICS. So we can see them also just trying to advance up the edge there. Kratos sending out a bit of a nade, just trying to send, fire off a few of those warning shots, but they do find a beautiful hit on towards El Chapo. A quick trade now coming through as Kratos gets down near instantly. Up comes retaliation. It's going to be Pedri and the rest of the team now looking to just contest them for that position. Is Omar coming in with a lot of those drop shots. It is Lazy Boy now then to get straight on down. Senke looking to step on up, but it all now turns over towards El Chapo, who sends that nade out looking to fend off the players from Shock, but the aggression, they tasted the blood, right? They want to push through. Shock wants to close it up and get that, that squad wipe in, because they're looking for those eliminations to come with alongside that, and it is, of course, going to be the players there from Shock to just deliver an absolutely shocking blow in towards CRYPTICS.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. What a shocking performance. That was amazing. So we had CRYPTICS that put up a nice little heavy battle there, but not getting away with it. Was Shock as they came through, electrifyingly amazing with that little battle. We still have SG51 trying to do a little peek, holding the fort down all alone, quite a distance from the rest of the team members. Cyprus 69 Sidus all the way on the other side. Pretty familiar with the squad. I know that they can be aggressive, but let's see how their patience and tolerance can hold while the zone starts pushing in. Gatekeeping on the edge.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of pressure for these teams now to hold up a good angle. I'm especially looking on towards that more center zone, as we know the blue zone is going to show us a little bit of a surprise once this move comes on through. But of course, speaking about those surprises, it is going to be the players here now from the side there of Sparta trying to hold on as they are being pressured. That zone now sticking on towards that northern island, or at least the main island. But this is where, especially that southern position, is going to get heavily congested, as we still have 4 teams having to rotate off of that Sosnovka Island.
That's right. So rotation game is very important right now. I don't think anyone smart enough will try and do directly going north over the bridge, knowing that they can expect multiple teams waiting for them on the other end. So I don't know. Are the guys going to take a dive? Are they going to take a swim? I don't know. It's so much under pressure as the zone decides to go more north, and makes me nervous. Where's my anxiety pulse? Can't wait for the action to get there. Come on, let's bring it, DK.
Yeah, well, speaking about that bridge action, is going to be the players here from Saint to face a little bit of a challenge already starting things off there, but we've got a lot of action now starting to unfold all across the map, because the players there from the side of Sparta are also just trying to keep up their angles. As you can see, Saint also now trying to defend this bridge with everything they have in store. We've got so many more teams now still looking to just progress further and further up in towards the zone, as things are really going to start getting pretty tight and sticky for a lot of these teams. You can see there's not a lot of space really left for anyone to make much use of. But looking at, Tebri here, they're just hammering away at any possible opportunity that presents itself. And, be it at the expense of the players there from 1 million on the opposite side of the bridge, or should it be in any other team? I mean, there's going to be a lot of players now stepping into the fray.
That's right. So they're going to be picking off anyone that comes in there. Saint holding the fort. They're going to make things difficult for 1 million. I don't exactly know what kind of position they'll be taking, because I hope they're wearing their swimsuits if they're going to take a dive. That's going to make things nice and interesting. And what's stupendous holding the fort. I'm sure they've had many bridge battles before Saint. Let's see where they come out as it provisions forward.
Yep, no.
16.
Oh, I mean, just looking at what we've got coming into the zone, right, this is already looking to be an absolutely insane play for a lot of these teams situated here. As we can see, quite a big concentration of teams set up in towards that center zone, with several more looking to just trickle on through, coming in from that western side. So it is going to be pretty contentious as the teams now continue to try and find a good angle to play from. But we also then see the players here from Ninja just trying to make a bit of a play happen, as they are somewhat close to center zone, not exactly there, but still a good kind of compound for them to be holding. And I'm loving the spread coming through from the players here of Ninja. But now it comes down to whether or not they are able to utilize these positions and defend it, as we still have so many other players also looking for their own little piece of heaven moving in towards the zone.
Yeah, that's right. So looking for their piece of heaven when they might just find hell, as Ninja Boy is popping it off. Team number 10 member over there from Death. Is it DEATHXDOSE? I think it is, as a team member comes in to try and revive him and get things done. Ninja Boy not playing around, and they're holding this compound pretty well with a little bit of a split between the team members. Still full squad, 13 teams remaining. It's going to make it interesting with this full amount of team members still in the game. 42 guys still alive, and no elims. Let's see how they start popping off. The blue zone should be coming in shortly.
Yep.
And let's see exactly where that zone is going to play. I think it's obviously going to move a little bit more north than it is right now. But holding the fort would possibly be the best play. Taking a step back, being patient, waiting for someone to make a mistake as it goes to the Millie area, leaving in some H2O and land coming in there. So we know it's going to get interesting as the other guys from the western side starts moving in.
Yeah.
See another team moving in just above there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of teams that now have to try and scurry to get themselves back in it towards the zone and still be in contention to make it through to that very last phase. Of course, we know this is where the pressure is definitely going to start dialing on up as the teams continue to look to advance further and further forward. I mean, Saint, they also haven't yet closed out that southern position. We still see the players there from Hooligans looking to bring in a little bit of that pressure, looking to see if they can also find a good angle to be fighting from. And this is now where the teams are going to start popping off as we see that mass migration now heading up alongside that northern kind of approach in it towards the zone. We're going to try and jump across and see if we can potentially maybe find a little bit of that action or interaction as the teams now continue to roll further on forward. It is going to be the players here from STERNE also looking for a little bit of an advantage to play here as they are one of the teams pushing in from that northern approach.
Yeah, that's right, from the northern approach. I think the guys moving in from the north, it might be too early to say, has the advantage in this game. But as we're witnessing team number 14 moving in, probably going to expose themselves in the open field, but maybe trying to find some compound in order to get some cover. Let's see exactly where they end up on the borderline of Malta. Just on the western side. Good, yeah. I think this is actually not a bad place.
Yeah, it's going to be borderline insanity, right? If we want to go that far, just looking at the kind of spread coming through from a lot of these teams. And a good starting point, at least now for the players here from STERNE, being able to situate themselves over on towards that eastern side. But a big point of concern is still for the players here from Saint, looking to push on through. Yes, we did see that they were able to deal quite a few blows in towards Hooligan 7, but now that blue zone is not going to be kind to anybody as it now starts advancing further and further forward. Of course, we do see Zion also now coming under a little bit of pressure here. We do see the players from DOSE also falling to their demise. But this is kind of expected, right? We're seeing such a large concentration of teams surviving until this late into this game. Already 20 minutes have passed and we are still sitting with 10 teams remaining, 35 players alive. Right. And I mean, it's super challenging.
Yeah, of course it is. And I think the zone is what made that exactly as tasty as it is right now. It feels like a McDonald's meal all the way up. Nice and tasty, full house. And so the guys will obviously have to push and try and hold fort as much as they can as we're witnessing Saint trying to get out of that blue zone, which is going to punish you if you stay in it. So it's time to get out of there, would be my suggestion. We have team number 11, who is 1 million, that might try and get some payback on them.
Yeah, and this is now where that pressure cooker could start boiling on over. As we can see, it is Makari now trying to find a little bit of an angle on towards the players there from Saint. Spots out the vehicle, just puts a little bit of a spray on through. We do see Cyrus, the virus, popping up with a little bit of a surprise hit there as the players now from the side there of SPAZA are looking for a bit of that opening. It is going to be 1 million now to continue to rotate further and further forward as the zone is once again taking a little bit of a shift, heading further on towards that western side, eastern side rather, making it even more challenging, but also in doing so, forcing this kind of phase to be a city finish. Now, we know these city finishes are usually quite challenging when it comes to these teams, and, you know, they don't have a lot of space to work with, and this is where everyone will now be put to the test.
That's right, it's an exact pressure cooker where they find themselves. The zone not being a friend to any one of these teams right now. So this is where experience will come out. Knowing your compounds, knowing the area of the map where you find yourselves could determine exactly where you end up in placement. As we witness team number 11 player just getting knocked there from the outside. Flex is still there.
Yeah.
To help them come back.
Yeah, and Smokey, of course, keeping a very good vantage point right here. But we do see the players a little bit further up ahead there from Black Zone. Also looking to see if they can get themselves situated, moving in towards this western side. They've spotted out the players there from Sparta off in the distance. As we can see, Senpai and Cyrus now also just looking to play it from within the buildings there. But again, the teams are going to be put to the test. This is where they have to try and just capitalize on the element of surprise that comes along with being in this kind of city finish, right? They can actually use the compounds to get themselves much better situated and potentially just inch their way up right alongside one of the opponents.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to call, especially when you're including buildings and cover into the battle. Smokes will make things a little different. I think you need to have your smokes all well in placement so you can surprise the team if that's the tactic you're going to use. Alternatively, you try and find a place with more space and a little bit of reach action so you can hide and try and move yourself away from any peering eyes and nice metal bullets. So, yeah. Whatever direction these guys take, as you see, this is coming and eliminations are coming left and right within these compound battles. DK, it's so difficult for me to say exactly which way these teams are going to try and take it. Injured team out there, SG is still around, so I don't exactly know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
I'm waiting in anticipation.
Yeah, I mean, this could swing several different ways, right? And that is kind of, I think, the beauty of it, right? There is no certainty whatsoever with regards to the way this is going to unfold. And I mean, this is what puts a lot of pressure on these teams as well, right? So because they have to try and accommodate for whatever the zone could be throwing at them, as well as taking into consideration what any of the opposing teams could be looking to deliver to them, as we now see the players here still holding on for Black Zone, just trying to, you know, bring in a little bit more of a breather there, just quickly pushing on through. But of course, as we look at the spread coming in towards the zone, we can see the teams just absolutely jam-packed on top of each other, still sitting with 8 teams remaining. We've got 21 players left to try and fight it out. The players here from SG are going to be looking to push in from this western front. You can see Cyrus and Senpai now on the move, getting ready to bring in a little bit of a push. Fortunately for them, they don't have to push too far to get themselves in towards that safe playable area. But of course, that blue zone is moving in, and that is going to be quite a bit of a problem for a lot of these teams, as it will shift up once again, condensing that playable area, and as a result, making it super challenging for almost everyone left in this lobby to get a good position.
Yeah. What a phenomenal zone this is. I haven't seen a battle in this kind of compound form in a long time. So it's going to make this interesting. The zone is going to be on you. You need to move. You need to watch teams on your left, on your right, on your head, on your hip. Where do you go? I don't exactly know what to do as we're seeing these battles going off between these squads. What exactly are they going to do? Smokes is going to help out as Snake Eyes. Trying not to get skinned and going to be used as a bag later, trying to get some cover.
Yep, the pressure is now on. Snake Eyes now just trying to play that slow and steady game, just trying to stay out of line of sight, just trying to survive as long as they possibly can. But we've got Yamalox also now on a bit of an approach here. I mean, the players here from 1 million still looking pretty decent. They still have all 4 players in the game. They're going to be looking for any of those opportunities to potentially come back with an absolutely devastating blow. It is going to be the players here from Black Zone also just holding steady on their own ground here. Not going to be looking to get themselves exposed too much. The players here from SG also just on the opposing side, taking a little bit more of a cautious angle here. They do find themselves quite close to the edge of the zone, and I mean, they only started off with 3 players. They're already sitting on 9 eliminations to their name, so an absolutely phenomenal run coming through for them. But of course, as we jump a little bit further up as well, we can see the players here now coming in for DEATHXDOSE. Also, just looking to see if they can push in from this eastern side. Still have quite a bit of opposition lined up ahead of them. That blue zone also doing quite a bit of damage now, as we are in that 7th phase, about to hop straight into the 8th phase.
That's right. So these phases are harder than watching a Stormers rugby match right now. I'm completely nervous with some magnificent gameplay coming in from the SG squad. Coming in with 9 elims. The action's about to go down, and we see a little bit of a knock coming through, coming in from one of the players from team number 14, making things even harder for team number 11 to do a little bit of a push. Hard peak is exactly not one of the options I will take. Cover is exactly where I'll try and find myself in the center of the zone.
Oh, but as we can see right there's definitely not a lot of a positional play to be brought in here,
Where to
especially
go?
center zone. I mean, there's like the safest place to go is right back into the lobby. As you can see now, the players here from SG sent by having a bit of a nade coming too close for comfort, just rebounding off of that water tower and making a little bit of a detour. We do have Kingerman also now on the approach, does find a bit of that spray coming through there as we have Killer now just laying down an absolutely great defensive angle here. We do have Moriarty also now on the approach, looking to strengthen this position. But this is where they're going to be put to the test because the players here from Mad Knight, they want this position. They want to move in here. And now it's going to be up to the Black Zone to try and defend that as we do see Agent 47 are getting traded there by Senpai. But now that element of surprise has gone out the window. Senpai coming in with a beautiful hit on towards Moriarty. And it is going to be Killer caught out in the open with that Black Zone getting sent right on back. And it is now up to our final players there as the players now from, I believe that was Mad Knight. No, 1 million actually stepping up to claim themselves an absolutely beautiful winner chicken dinner. And with that, picking up 9 eliminations along the way.
That's right. Knowing the position that 1 million was in, crazy that they still got the chicken dinner, taking full advantage and working the zone beautifully.
Oh, I mean, this is what we love to see, right? Teams really being put to the test, put to the challenge to see whether or not they can cope with the pressures being brought up towards them. So absolutely phenomenal start there for the players from 1 million, picking up those eliminations. Of course, the players there from SG walking away with a very, very impressive amount of eliminations as well, as we can see them finishing on 12. The players there from Black Zone, of course, finishing up in 3rd place with 3. We got the team then from Mad Knight finishing in 4th place, picking up 9 eliminations as well. We got Shock all the way in that 5th position, picking up their 5 eliminations. We got the players there from STERNE in 6th position. Then, of course, as we move a little bit further on down, we can see this is where the eliminations started to trickle down a little bit, right? A lot of these teams actually getting caught off guard, if we could say so. As you can see, not a lot of eliminations really being brought in. Even the team there from CRYPTICS, Lazy Boy, only finding 1, which is quite surprising because we know CRYPTICS is quite a strong team. So this is very kind of counterintuitive to see a result like this come through.
That's right, here in game number 1, CRYPTICS is a formidable team to face. Coming in with only 1 elimination to their name is a surprise, but I think they were caught off guard, like you said. And yeah, this is where it comes in. Bring everything you have to the bag so you can get that finish.
Yep, and of course, speaking about the finish, it is going to be our stars of the match here being brought right on in. As we can see, it is going to be Cyrus Virus from SG being our MVP with those 6 eliminations. We also then have Eflex from 1 million being our best companion. And of course, Makari coming in as well there, picking up a beautiful finish as the last blow that was dealt. So, you know, taking that finisher or the final elimination award for their name. So absolutely great start to this first match. And as we now get ready to move into our second match, of course, this is where, you know, I am here and there's a phantom alongside me. You can hear the voice, but we can't see any pictures. And that is, you know, the lovely technology doing the thing it does, which we are always so grateful when all these surprises come on in. But of course, an absolutely phenomenal start to this day. We still have 3 more matches to go. Next up, we are going to be stepping into a little bit of that Miramar action, heading straight over in towards the desert. As you can hear the excitement there in Mr. Dale's voice. He cannot wait for the action to just come on the screen. And of course, Dale, I mean, this is now where we get a bit of an opportunity to hop into a quick break while we wait to see what our match results are. After that, we are going to be heading straight into that Miramar action. So be sure to stay tuned, guys, and we'll see you guys back in a short few minutes.
Perfect.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're getting ready to roll into the action once again for our second match of the day. Already, Wrangle off to an absolutely beautiful start. And just to show you what a beautiful start that was, we are going to be hopping straight in towards our results. We can see the players there from 1 million picking up that winner chicken dinner, finishing strong on 24 points. But of course, the players there from SPAZA also coming in with an absolutely phenomenal performance, finishing also then on 24 points with those 12 eliminations they were able to lock on in. So a super aggressive performance, especially for our teams finishing in those top 3 positions, right? Mad Knight finishing up in 4th place, but those 9 eliminations they were able to find really working out quite phenomenally for them, bringing in a grand total of those 17 points. So again, the top 5 teams looking pretty decent.
That's right. So look at those points, man. Spars are equal to the task, getting the total matching with 1 million. Like I mentioned earlier, 1 million in a position, which normally isn't a good advantage, but they found themselves with that winner chicken dinner, which was amazing. And Spars are being the aggressive team that I do and am familiar with, coming all the way to toss. Midnight coming in 3rd place. So this is going to make things interesting with game number 2, 3, and 4 coming in. So I'm biting my nails to see exactly what Miramar action can bring in game number 2.
Yeah, of course. Speaking about game number 2, we need to take a look at page number 2, as we can see the players there from Team Ninjas up in 9th positions with those 2 points. We got CRYPTICS, 7 Eat DEATHXDOSE, as well as the Middle East Assassins, and of course then the Doctors coming in with 1 point apiece. The Devils team, as well as Hooligans, having a little bit of a tough start here, as we can see them, not picking up any points in that match, at least for now. So they definitely have to try and, put a little bit more focus in to locking in those placement points, as we know is going to be absolutely essential for these teams. There's only 1 day of play right here in the regional finals, and only the top 3 teams will advance forward in towards that continental final. So if the pressure was ever high, it is on each of these regional days to see which teams will be the ones to make their way on forward. And of course, now speaking about teams making their ways on forward, we are now just waiting for that plane to take off so we can see where that flight path is going to be coming on in, and it starts all the way down towards that southern edge, heading right across up in towards that northwestern corner, right there alongside Ruin. So a little bit more of a western focus flight path coming through, so it is going to be a little bit more challenging for teams that like to frequent, for instance, let's say Minas Generales, Graveyard, Junkyard, or even water treatment, let alone to speak of the kind of areas further afield from that, right? Cruz del Val, El Azahar, Tierra Bronca, Torre Ahumada, Campo Militar, all those regions will require these teams, of course, to get themselves into a little bit of a vehicle of some sort to get themselves situated in towards those looting locations. But this is where the excitement comes in, because the teams now have an absolutely phenomenal opportunity to get themselves set up, go through the looting phase, and then start to kind of put together an approach as to how they want to rotate into the next phase.
That's right. So if there's any map out of all of the maps where you can take advantage of your looting, it would be here on Miramar, so finding the best position. But as you have mentioned, that many of the looting areas is basically out right now. Campo Militar, all out there. That is totally not a question, as it is actually a decent zone, which I was going to bring up. But we're going to have some building battles coming into play, some nice high mountain or range battles. So it will make things interesting as we see a couple of guys jumping and trying to move more central, possibly towards San Martin Graveyard area.
Yeah, I mean, definitely it's a very complementary zone coming in alongside this flight path. So I can already feel a lot of teams, being not too dissatisfied with their available options here. But of course, if we look at the players there from CRYPTICS all the way down towards that far southwestern side, they're moving into the usual position right in towards Val del Mar. So nothing out of the ordinary. And we see the players then, of course, from the side of, Dice Stone also dropping down right in towards Chumacera. We do have a little bit of a congestion up in towards Los Leones, but nothing too extravagant. We do, however, have a little bit of that popping of action coming through now with the players there from Mad Knight up in towards Picado. And we also have another potential position up in towards San Martin, as we see so many teams also dropping down in very close proximity.
That's right. It's a full combination of squads moving in there. So it will make things extremely hard, but the zone's playing perfectly in the favor of, what is the team now? CRYPTIC and SG, who likes their border play. I'm not sure, but I'm seeing some flashing as there's some action happening on the graveyard section. I'm sure there's a knock or elims that's going down nice and early here in game number 2.
Yep, the team's already getting right down to business. Not going to be wasting any time as they are getting ready for a little bit of that back and forth action. Of course, now speaking about that back and forth action, we are jumping straight across over towards the players here from the Mind Weapon. As we can see them positioned up in towards La Cobreria. They do have 2 other teams kind of sharing the space here with them. It's going to be Saints over on towards that western side, looking to just get a bit of that anchor point potentially set up in towards the zone. But of course, now a big worry for the players here from the Mind Weapon will be the team just situated off to the side from them, a little bit over on towards that western front. And they will, of course, be the players coming in there from the Middle East Assassins.
That's right. So you have other squads that's right on their tail, making things a little different with an amazing name like Mind Weapon. That's exactly what they need to have on their mind right now, is selecting the perfect weapon, either for some long-distance battles with the teams that's on their tail, or they're going to go for some CQ action trying to hold the fort within this zone.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to try and hold that fort. And speaking about holding forts, right, it is going to be Stallone. Fortunately, not being alone here, as they do find themselves kind of going up against the players here from 1 million. As we can see, Smokey a little bit further away, but still bringing in a bit of that off-angle approach here. We got Nero also just looking to see if they can make any substantial gains from this position. With 1 million looking to apply a little bit of pressure, but again, 1 million not in the most favorable position, right? They do have that 3-1 split working potentially in their favor, but it's still going to take a little bit of work as there's no clear line of sight coming straight down onto the players here from the NUVEM esports.
Yeah, the 3-1 tactic is normally the most favorable out of teams. 1 million using it normally to the perfection, but you don't have much visibility with the squad or the members from the squads, like Sterling taking nice cover and can take full advantage of it. Does need to do a little bit of a hard peek, probably not a push, to see if they can take advantage as someone is losing their HP on the outside there from the 1 million squad.
Yeah, we can see Babo also here, just looking for that position to work on through. We do see Eflex and the rest of the players there from 1 million also just being quite cautious on their positions, right? They're not going to be looking to get themselves exposed unnecessarily. But this is where, I mean, it could turn out favorably for either of these teams, right? We do see the players here from 1 million now just looking to fortify their own approach, while at the same time, you know, adding in a few of those potential vehicle plays as well. We do see Escanor all the way down towards that far southern side. But it's going to be a slow, steady approach for both teams right here. I mean, no one really going to be looking to get super aggressive just yet.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm guessing that the 1 million team is trying to restrict the movement of squad number 15, trying to suffocate them, trying to take full advantage, waiting for that hard peak. So the moment anyone shows themselves, let's see if they can get it gunned down and get that elim. So I'm guessing as you see the vehicle, the player coming out there, and they're Jamalocks going all the way. Here we go. Oh, getting punished. But the squad member's not too far away to take advantage as Flex falls, as we mentioned it.
Yeah, it is going to be up to Escanor now to try and hold up the defenses here. Beautiful spray coming in on towards Celine there as the first player now. Well, another player rather for the players here of NUVEM now also get drawn into this engagement. It is going to be up to Escanor to at least try and keep up this defensive line. Does find a beautiful trade-off there. We can see a little bit of a peak coming in with that. The knock comes in. It's not the end of the road just yet, but it is going to be now up to Makari now to try and apply a little bit of pressure. We did see Makari now being able to successfully defend against Smokey, and with that, they sent the players there from NUVEM right back over towards that lobby. So an absolutely phenomenal start for them. Quite a bit of aggression, but also quite a bit of back and forth, right? So really being put to the test, looking to see if they can actually play around this position.
That's right. So kind of on the back foot was 1 million with a little bit of a spread. It was far. The battle going in there was amazing. Coming out on top there, but losing 2 players in the process.
Yep, I mean, that is the cost. That's kind of the price you pay to try and get yourself into a little bit of a better position, but also getting in, you know, kind of thrown into that kind of hot pressure cooker situational play. We do see the players here now from the ME, or Middle East rather, Assassins, now looking to put a little bit of distance in between them and the teams we have positioned right behind them. The same, well, can almost be said for the players here from Shock, right? They've been able to rotate away, get themselves established, moving in towards the zone. They are just on the outskirts. They have lost Leones, and this is where they can now look to just, you know, get themselves a little bit better situated, looking to see if they can find any good regions to potentially pull on through in towards. Of course, taking a quick look at that map as well, we can see a lot of teams now mobilizing themselves, looking to just improve their current positioning.
That's right. So positioning is rather important as Shock moves in to probably one of the best places now at this point of the zone and trying to do that stalker battle as the caravan of vehicles moving in. And just something that I've... action coming in as we see SPAZA just on the outside. It's 69. Virus not playing it. Gets punished for being too exposed from the Shock squad. I like that. Shock squad.
Yeah, a little bit of that shock and awe approach coming in there from them, definitely. But, you know, a good approach. Not quite sure what the players there from SPAZA was really trying to do with having Cyrus so far isolated from the rest of the team. But, you know, it does seem like the rest of the team are still going to be continuing their roll on forward, as we can see them moving up there on the map. But we do have that slight convergence coming through as the teams are still looking to get themselves situated, moving through, pushing up in towards the zone. So for the time being, at least looking at the players here from Shock, right, they'll have a little bit more of a comfortable kind of position to be playing here, as they don't have to worry too much about getting pushed upon.
No, they don't. So they don't have any zone pressure. Just making sure that they have a clean area within this property so they can gather this estate, putting in their loans, making sure they got a clean sweep for any squads coming in. So they kind of sitting cozy for now. They don't have to be too lazy because the teams might get them off guard, as it's still a big zone and it's pretty huge.
Yeah, it is pretty huge. And of course, speaking about that hugeness, we do know that the zone has taken a little bit of a swing, heading slightly on towards that more eastern side. So not a super aggressive shift coming in here, at least with regards to where that zone has moved into. But it does, you know, present a few challenges for the team still looking to get themselves situated, looking for those rotational pathways to move on through. And it's now up to the players here from Shock try and keep the pressure on, as they do see the players there from STERNE now also looking for a bit of that opening. Beautiful spray coming in here from Sherbo, but unfortunately Sherbo not really being able to find the necessary hits just yet.
That's right, and surprisingly had and could have taken full advantage of it. Still spraying and not getting anyone's number as Sherbo is sending some of his metal all over. Why? I can't understand how he's not getting any of his HP, unless there's a bit of a heal glitch that I'm not seeing. But yeah, could have taken advantage as some of the smokes is coming in and grenades coming in from the other side. But Shock, not shockingly, being nice and engaged, taking on another team. Let's see how far they can go. Sitting with one Elam on their name.
Oh, I mean, the players there, as we saw in the feed, from STERNE, having a little bit of a tough play to try and make there, as, you know, a little bit of that self-nading coming into play. Fortunately for STERNE, they are still in a position where they can continue to defend, but we do see the players here from Shock now looking to come in with a little bit more of an aggressive approach, right? Really starting to try and encircle them, looking to see if they can tighten a potential angle on towards the players now from But, I mean, we do see that approach coming in across the board. Several more teams looking to kind of adapt that aggressive push. And we do see the players there from Saint also starting to take aim. So, you know, we do have quite a few engagements now starting to kind of unfold all across this map.
Yeah, that's the action that I'm talking about. Some third-party play coming in there. Nice peaky poopers coming in, trying to spoil as the Stevens is still trying to hold the foot. Not being too aggressive on that ridge line, but trying to hold the fort as best as they can. I think the best are trying to change position. Otherwise, Saint will be taking full advantage of it as they move with a convoy of vehicles.
Yeah, and up comes that rush now right on towards Sherbo, as we can see. It is going to be a full frontal rotation coming in here. It is going to be a little bit of a challenging play, right? We got Sai also now on the opposite end. Oh, beautiful spray coming in there from Sherbo as the hits continue to roll on in. Zai now also just trying to wrap around those crates. It is going to be a Rofa getting taken right on down in mid-prime. Now just going to be trying to play out this position. We do see the players there from CRYPTICS also now looking to step in into the exchange. There we see Marshall off on the end, and it's going to be Keel now, just trying to lay down a little bit of that suppressive fire before,
That's
you
right.
know, furthering their attempt and their aggression right here onto the players from STERNE.
Oh, that's right. So obviously trying to get the first team out of the way. So spraying that and holding the position as Seven Evil, I think it is, getting that Elam to his name and the squad. But trying to finish the one battle before they move on to the other. Container rotations rather difficult if you don't know the section on the map. So
Yep.
pretty well played from Shock so far. Full squad, 4 Elams to their name. I think it did. As one of the players still trying to be silent and now does a rotation and gets Elam and punished. Trying to move on is Shock. Doing pretty well so far. Kratos is down. Here we go. Spray. Oh, nearly getting punished there from the outside. See the bolt action not coming into play just yet.
I mean, that's a very risky play coming through from Shock, though. I mean, looking at CRYPTICS' position, they definitely have, you know, a
Yeah.
far more advantageous angle to try and leverage here. As we can see, they've already been able to find at least 1 or 2 knocks coming on through. And now, as we wait to see where that next zone is going to be taking us, it is still going to be the players here from CRYPTICS. Marshall just coming through with that M24, just trying to, you know, just add a little bit of that extra spice into the level of complexity Shock for now find themselves in.
That's right. As you've seen, many squads that use vehicles normally come out top, so at least in the top section of placement. So you see Marshall using his bolt action, gonna make things difficult for Shock, who doesn't have the best position right now, but we have Marshall here holding them down, but actually doing the whole Goodyear tire sale, ending the vehicle rotation for Shock.
Oh, I mean, Sherbo in a very, very risky position right there, as we do see the zone now taking a little bit of a swing once again. Now just continuing further on towards the edge there. As we have a quick look on the map, we can see the zone now just closing up on towards that eastern side. So not an overly aggressive shift coming in, but we do, however, see a little bit of that tension now starting to boil over, as we got the players all the way from the side there of Team Ninjas.
Yeah.
Now finding themselves in quite a bit of a predicament as they now head right across back in towards the lobby. There's going to be the players there from Black Zone coming through, just dealing those devastating blows to them. But again, the team's now in a position where they can look to just get themselves a little bit better spread out. Again, looking to find that good vantage point to potentially fight from, as there is still going to be a lot of these angles for teams to try and move into, right? As we take a quick look at that map once again, we can see there is a good position being occupied now by Saint up on the high ground. And of course, we do have the players there from Mad Knight down in towards Picado. But I'm liking this pressure play coming through on towards that northwestern side, as we have the players then from, I believe that is the Mind Weapon, looking to potentially try and hold on as they are going up against the Middle East Assassins, as well as then the players there from 7E.
That's right, so holding the fort, bringing in the action. The guys that's sitting cozy for the moment, it's actually 2 teams. It's Saint, and I just kind of missed who the blue squad was in the middle of the zone as well. But gatekeeping is on the south, was it the northwestern side of the zone? Is gate kept. Whoever tries to come through there might get punished. Here we go. So it's squad number 17, Snake Eyes, being sneaky as hell against team number 5.
Yeah, announced down
70
to
hooligans. There we go. Yeah.
it's down to whether or not they can find these positions to try and play from. We do see those mollies already getting sent on out, but with that Snake's Eyes now just getting rushed up upon, and down they go. It is up now to Godji to try and see if they can step up into contention here. The players there from 7E definitely laying it on super, super thick. But what's quite surprising is we do see Sido coming in from, you know, the teammate there, being quite far away from, you know, the rest of the last remaining hopeful for their team, situated right in this pressure cooker play. But it's also going to be the players there from the Middle East Assassins looking to add their own spice into this mix.
That's right. I'm not sure if he's trying to be evasive or trying to do a little bit of cover fire, but it's not working out for the rest of his squad, as Snake Eyes got punished earlier, facing his back to the squad. But I think the enemy squad just on top can take full advantage as they have high ground and try and moving in. We see Ghost 70 not completely exposed, trying to get his revive on player unknown right there as the squad member. Can't take too much time because it might be bait.
Yeah, it could definitely be a little bit of bait coming through here, but as we can see, Savage also keeping a very watchful eye on that position. We see the players there from the ME Assassins coming in. Beautiful head coming on towards Rostom. Down there they go now. This could be a little bit of that Savage on Savage action, as we've got one of those on either side. It is going to be the players then also then from the side of CRYPTICS coming in with a little bit of a play all the way down towards that southern side, as they're now starting to pick apart the players there from Shock. And this is a great start for the players there from CRYPTICS. We've been waiting for them to start popping off, as we can see Savage also now just looking to push a little bit further on towards in that zone. There's going to be players there from CRYPTICS now on the opposite end looking to roll in from that southern edge. We did see a few of those blows coming through down at the expense of the players there from Shock, but of course it is going to be 7E also now looking to get themselves a little bit better situated. It is going to be Sherbo now getting run right over as the players here from CRYPTICS just come rolling on in.
Yeah, that's right. Welcome to game number 2. We've been waiting for it as they found themselves towards the bottom of the log, as they currently sitting trying to take full advantage. Shockingly getting Shock, I think, out of the picture, picking them apart as they hold this part of the zone. Also keeping an eye on Savage right now. We did a nice Savage gameplay with the NE squad just on the ridge line. But as they're moving apart, let's see who gets the best part of the zone between these squads, because that could determine where everything can change for them.
Yeah, and
look at this lazy boy.
There's going to be a lot of positions still to try and fight for, right? As the teams continue to push further and further afield. As we can see, that zone now also just centering up a little bit more on towards the northern side. Saint finding themselves beautifully zone blessed here. Smack dab center zone nearly, and we now have the players there from Mad Knight looking to push in from the western side. We see the players from Black Zone moving in from the eastern side. So already a little bit of contention coming through on towards them. CRYPTICS, you know, slowly but cautiously making their push, not too hastily in their approach. Instead, going to be looking to get, you know, a good angle on towards the loot. But the pressure now is definitely going to find its way a little bit further in towards the zone, as we do have the players here now from Mad Knight coming under a little bit of pressure. 7E looking to peek on in, but they do have a few unwelcome visitors now also rolling in on that eastern side. It is going to be the players from Saint looking to just assert themselves back into this phase once again.
That's right. So Saint has been holding this part of the line for a while. Probably going to do some picking as well. Trying to pick team number 12 apart as they go. Some HP being taken there from T-Berry, I think it is. Sorry, T-Bry? If I'm saying that correctly. Hopefully I'm not butchering the name. But 70 unknown, still also in a good position. I don't know how long Saint can do this because they've been here for a while. Someone else might be knocked. Is it Lord? Lord is down.
Yeah, it is Lord indeed. We got a Yura now also just trying to keep up that defensive play. But as we can see, El Chapo is going to come through swinging on the end there, as well as the CRYPTICS now continue to advance further and further forward. We do see the players here from Mad Knight also now just trying to keep up their own defensive play on towards the players there from 7E, as we see Unknown taking a little bit of damage, but this is where things get super challenging for these teams once again. We do see a beautiful position being played up in towards the northern side. Players there from 7E also still trying to make a bit of a push. We've got players from the Middle East Assassins coming under fire. Extra also just feeling the heat, feeling the pressure getting applied here. As we can see Yura now trying to reach across. Fortunately, therefore Extra, that is not going to be the case for the time being, as they are able to get up. But looking at the Beast, I mean, the Beast now just swinging through, picking up that elimination and putting quite a bit of pressure now on the players there coming through from the ME Assassins.
That's right. So Beast holding down multiple teams and getting the elims on a couple as we go along. Thought that the Beast was a little bit in trouble for the moment, but obviously getting his way out there, as Yusuf also sent shot through the 7E team who's on the ridge and hopefully can try and take advantage of it. But Yusuf probably got the best spot right now. So multiple teams coming in trying to take full advantage as the blue zone's going to push them a little bit more central. Savage also taking on an extra read all about as I send the shots through to you. trying to hold it down for the rest of his squad.
Oh, but Ghost getting spotted out there. Beautiful spray down coming on and right down towards 7E. But now 7E finds themselves in a little bit of a tricky position. They are caught on the outskirts of that zone. They still need to try and dial it on through. We can see the players here from Saint now just looking to spread themselves out a little bit more. And it is now a lot of pressure getting brought in from all directions because the players here from DEATHXDOSE also trying to keep up their own defensive line. We still have Saint focusing their efforts on towards 70. So several teams now starting to pop off. It is going to be Shroud getting taken right on down. We do see Pac-Man and the rest of the squad now also just trying to make a play on this very edge. We can see Mido now cooking up the nades, looking to see if they can send it across, potentially finding a bit of an opening there. But look at T-Berry also just hammering away as 7E continue to try and advance up into zone.
Oh, that's right. They're not going anywhere. T-Berry holding it down, keeping him in the blue zone, and will get his number as we just witnessed. That would be 2 squad members down for the 7E squad. So it's going to make it difficult for them to move as a third-party shot just comes into T-Berry. Nearly taking him out. But he'll be good for now as he rotates.
Well, DEATHXDOSE now finding themselves in a bit of a predicament here, still having to try and push through all the way from that very far western edge. Saint now still looking fairly decent, right? They've been able to lay down quite a bit of pressure onto the teams a little bit further up ahead of them. The same, of course, can be said for the players here from Black Zone, as they are also starting to make their advances, trying to wrap up this northern play. Got several teams to contest against. We can see CRYPTICS being one of the teams just positioned south of their current angle. And this is where things are going to continue to just get more and more challenging, as we can see now Shroud finding a quick little peek there onto one of the players coming through from Mad Knight. But that doesn't mean anything as the teams have still quite a bit of ground to cover to try and lock in those positions.
That's right, couldn't have said it better. So finding themselves in shelter, still a lot of space to be decided, as we still have many teams still available for that action in play. It's nice to see CRYPTICS still full squad as they are south of the border. As Blackstone still holding the fort with a full squad and 5 elims to their name. Not doing bad. But look at that zone and how many teams still has to move in. Who can get this number on them? 16 teams still, players still remaining, 6 teams to still survive it.
Oh, but this is now a very, very risky play coming in for DEATHXDOSE here, as we can see them trying to apply the pressure on towards CRYPTICS. So they do find the angles on towards Senke though, but now this is down to an absolute devastating blow getting dealt to the players here from DEATHXDOSE, as they find themselves a lovely dose of that uncomfortableness coming through right towards them. It is going to be simple now getting traded off, and it is now up to Killer to try and hold strong, as we can see CRYPTICS right up in front of them. The trigger discipline now being shown here, but that smoke is going to start dissipating any time now, and that could be the opening for CRYPTICS. So if Killer wants to try and do anything from this position, now would be the opportunity.
Yeah, holding me in suspense here as Killer couldn't take advantage, full advantage, as CRYPTICS El Chapo being in the open, but doesn't. Probably a smarter gameplay, too early to tell just yet, but he is the single man surviving through his squad. So, here we go, we can't get it. Lazy boy, not keeping his eyes open, doing a shuffle, spraying in clutch. Come on. This is Killer being a big, what a sting. Deserve to CRYPTICS. What a message being sent right now. And doesn't, but comes away getting 7 elims as 14 eliminations for CRYPTICS. 2 squad members, or 1.5 right now, doing a play. Oh, no, there we go.
Well, the numbers not really looking too favorable here on the side of CRYPTICS. They do, however, sit on 14 eliminations to their name already, so no surprise to see such a strong representation coming through here for the players of CRYPTICS, as we know they do perform exceptionally well. Looking at Miramar, and up comes an absolutely phenomenal nade there, right down in towards the players there from DEATHXDOSE. You can see Shroud now being the last remaining hopeful. The spray comes in. With that, it is locked in. It is the end of the road, and it is now going to be the final showdown, with CRYPTICS stepping up, taking home the victory there, and not doing a really bad job. I mean, looking at that, that is 16 eliminations to their name. Absolutely phenomenal way to close up that winner chicken dinner. That, of course, means that they dropped the 30 bomb on us right there Of course, the players from Mad Knight walking away in that second position, picking up their own 5 eliminations. DEATHXDOSE also sitting then on 5. We got the Black Zone sitting in 4th position, coming in on 7 eliminations. And then, of course, Saint all the way in 5th. Sadly, only finding that 1 elimination. As we look a little bit further down, you can see the players there from 7E up in 6th position. We got the Middle East Assassins there as well. And then, of course, we just take a look at the rest of the elims. I mean, surprisingly, the players from Shock finishing strong on at least 5. And, of course, 1 million also finishing on those 4 eliminations down in that 10th position. But a very, very surprising play coming in here. As we can see, you know, the numbers looking a little bit scarce as we move a little bit further on down. But that is kind of to be expected. But, of course, our stars of the match will be none other than Marshall being our MVP with those 6 eliminations. And then, of course, we got the players there from DEATHXDOSE. Kyla, I assume, picking up the best companion, with Marshall then also being the player to land that final blow of devastation to pick up that winner chicken dinner. So again, an absolutely phenomenal performance being brought in by the teams here. And I mean, it was about time for CRYPTICS to step up, right? We know them as a team that is quite a formidable force to go up against, and they just showed that once again, coming up in towards Murmur. But that makes me excited to see what they could have in store for us moving into our final 2 remaining matches of the day.
Yeah, that's right. So they kind of did a switch up and pulling it right through and Miramar getting the beautiful chicken dinner and the amount of elims that obviously pushes them up. 50 bomb, you said it nicely. Oh, man. And showing us that Miramar doesn't have to just be long in play. They can bring in that action pretty sweet. And I'm excited for game number 3 and 4 and see if they can hold that fort, get them all the way up.
Well, speaking about the forts, we are going to be hopping into a very quick break. So be sure to stay tuned and we'll see you guys right back afterwards with our 3rd match. Of course, heading straight over in towards Sanhok. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a short minute. What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're getting ready to roll with the action once again. Already concluding our first two matches of the day. Starting off on Erangel, as we saw, heading over on towards Murmur, with the players there from CRYPTICS stepping up with an absolutely beautiful performance over on towards Murmur. But of course, now it is going to be time for us to make our way on towards Sanhok. So we're just waiting for the overall rankings to be kind of wrapped on up so we can show them on screen. But while we wait, we can have a quick look at what the overall standings were before we hopped into this last match. We can see the players there from 1 million. They started off sitting right up at the top after their first performance, with the CRYPTICS falling a little bit further behind, right? CRYPTICS was sitting all the way down in that 10th position. But as we know, CRYPTICS came in and they dropped a beautiful 30 bomb on us there, taking that winner chicken dinner, as well as picking up those 16 eliminations along the way. So it was an absolutely phenomenal performance coming through from them. So curious to see how that is then going to impact our overall rankings, as I do believe there is going to be quite a bit of a shift, you know, quite a dynamic kind of change up coming as to where these teams are. And as we know, not only are these teams fighting for their share of the prize pool, at least here for the regional finals, they're also fighting for their slot going through in towards the continental finals. So only the top three teams will be advancing forward. So before we went into our second match, that was, looking quite favorable, at least for 1 million SPAZA, as well as the players coming through there for Mad Knight. We know that has, of course, now changed up, seeing that we did see those performances coming through. But we don't know how much the overall picture has really changed for these teams just yet.
That's right. I think the change is going to be, well, whatever just happened in game number 2 is going to have a huge impact on the positions, especially 1, 2, and 3, with CRYPTICS pulling it home and showing us exactly what they are made of, and the team that we are all too familiar with bringing that action in game number 2 on Miramar. So what an amazing display from them, especially bringing that 30 and getting in 6 elims and getting the chicken dinner. It's and then 1 million and SPAZA coming towards the end of the log in game number 2. So they've taken a bit of a dip. So like I said, it's going to make things rather interesting and just the way I like it. Nice and spicy. You don't know what you're tasting, but you love it.
Yeah, speaking about that spiciness, of course, it doesn't seem like we are going to be having the results out just yet. So we'll have to show them a little bit later on. Meanwhile, we are going to be moving straight into the Sanhok action here, as we can see that flight path all the way up towards the northern side. As per usual on Sanhok, flight path not as essential as where that first zone is going to be appearing up towards. But as we can see, we do have a slightly more northern focus flight path coming through here, so it is going to be that extra little bit of a challenge for these teams to get themselves properly situated, looking to see where they can actually move on through. And, just as we hopped into the game, we did have the results come through, the overall rankings. So currently, we are seeing the players from Mad Knight sitting up in pole position on 34 points, with the players from CRYPTICS hard on their heels on 32. And then, of course, 1 million still in the top 3, now sitting on a grand total of 29 points. And of course, we see the players there from Black Zone, 1 point behind them, up on 28. So it is going to be quite the contentious play for these teams, looking to kind of lock in those positions, looking to see if they can continue on with the momentum that they've been able to build up so far. So what I think we can do is, while we are waiting for these teams to get themselves, kind of into the action, aside from the action that we have up in towards Skull, with the players there from CRYPTICS and the team running through from the Mind Weapon. Aside from that, once we kind of have an idea what this fight is going to be doing, we could, of course, quickly just show you the standings on the screen, so that everybody knows kind of where we are coming into this. But as we have it for now, it is going to be a little bit of that engagement coming through here. We do see CRYPTICS now just quickly popping on off, looking to see if they can bring in a great start to their match here, as they have already been able to deal a few blows rather into the players there from the Mind Weapon. So as soon as they wrap this up and we don't have any other fights breaking out, at least for now, we can of course quickly just show you those results on the screen as well.
That's right. Awesome decision here from DK. Bringing you the action, not going to miss anything, not a second. So as we're looking at Mind Weapon going head to head with our chicken dinner from game number 2, CRYPTICS holding the fort. But as we see, this is Sanhok. It's totally different approach. As Marshall gets him down. So one player down for now. 2 elims to their name, so that's 2 actually. Do they hold Cow? Is Cow off of this?
Yeah,
Not sure.
yeah. I think it would be safe to say that they are holding on to
Oh, it
Cal
is.
at least for now. So let's quickly have a look at those overall rankings while we wait for the other teams to, get into some positions. Of course, as I mentioned, we got Mad Knight holding on to pole position. CRYPTICS right there in second place. Of course, in the players there from 1 million up in third. Only 1 point ahead of the players coming through there from Black Zone. So there is going to be a little bit of pressure on the shoulders here for the teams, especially those looking to lock in those top 3 positions. But looking at the spread
Yeah.
we have going across the board, right, it is still a very capable play for, a lot of these teams here, as anyone is still pretty much in a position where they could step up and be quite contentious, still adding that extra little bit of spice moving on through. As we take a look at that second page, it's still also relatively close on that front, but I definitely do think, we could see quite a bit of changes coming through, especially looking at that first page. And of course, now, speaking about pages, speaking about action, we are going to now get ready to hop into a little bit more of the action right here with the teams as, we're getting ready to roll on through. But
Yeah.
it probably helps if I pressed all the right buttons. We just saw an absolutely devastating blow getting dealt into the players here from STERNE as they were trying to get themselves situated. A little bit of a late start, looking at, kind of where they are. I mean, looking at here at Sai, I mean, yeah, I'm not quite sure what the play is here, because I mean, Sai only made it into a compound now, and we're already like 4 minutes in.
That's right. It's probably just a poor selection of zone and not going into an area where there's enough loot. So as you can see, we had one of the players on their squad that pressed the wrong button as we shifted nicely and getting eliminated and sent back to the lobby nice and early. They are sitting on 2 eliminations as we were going through that. But yeah, it's going to make things a little difficult. They don't have any pressure from the zone, just on the outside of the camp within this compound. So I don't know. It's best to see what rotation they do from there.
Yeah, only time will tell where exactly they'll be ending up. And of course, we do see the players here from the Middle East Assassins also on a slow, steady approach, looking to get themselves back in it towards contention here. They've already snuck in towards that eastern side of the zone. So, there's still an option there for them to still try and potentially play from. As we take a look at that map as well, we can see still a huge spread coming in with regards to where these teams are currently situated. And, I'm curious to see what the players here from, the Assassins are going to be doing. Are they going to look to maybe contest against the players there from NUVEM, who we have just ahead of them? But also, they've got to be careful, because we do see the players there from SPAZA also not too far away. So, this could be a little bit of a, like treading over fire.
That's right. So I'm not sure if you ever had. It's not a very comfortable feeling. It's terrible. See, Emmy actually gets out of it as they have a nice together spread with the other teams, not too far on the outside there. But the zone is what I'm looking at. I wonder if we're going to get a northwestern and some island zone just cutting in Tatmok. That will make things interesting and what the teams decide to do as someone just falls on the outside of Mongnai.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of someones that are going to be finding themselves in a little bit of a pressure play. We do see Yusuf here now also right there on the very edge, just quickly trying to regroup back with the rest of the team. But we do see over on that far western side, the players from Saint also now looking to bring in a little bit of a push as they now move closer towards Hatin, actually sneaking up on the players there from Mad Knight. So a lot of pressure getting applied from all directions as we quickly hop on towards the players here from Saint. We can see Kingerman now also just getting it devoured there. And now with that, it is going to be the players now from Mad Knight reduced down to 3. It is going to be Ammo as well as Beast and Agent 47 left to try and, make something happen up in towards Hatin.
That's right. It's not going to be easy for them as they were caught off guard. Kingman just got vaulted all the way back to the lobby. So I think Marwin has to do a little bit of a recon check for the rest of his teammates who's a little bit far behind. But as here we go, doing recon, making sure that the team is on the outside, a little bit of an air punch to see if he can hold the fort within this compound.
Yeah, that due diligence being done here by Ammo. Let's see whether or not Ammo will be able to use any of that ammo that they have. As we can see, it is going to be an extended mag at least, so there's a great opportunity for some phenomenal shooting to come on through here. But for now, it is just going to be information gathering kind of session here. I mean, I don't necessarily see ammo just yet getting into any of these engagements. Instead, trying to do the due diligence, trying to figure out where the rest of the team could be looking to rotate up in towards. And I mean, that's kind of the approach that we see for a few other teams also spread out, you know, throughout this map, as we do have that blue zone now starting to close on in. And this is where a slight little bit of that pressure is going to be applied to these teams, as they now will have to relocate once again as we wait to see what the zone's going to bring. And it now just centers up even more so, and actually zone blessing the players there from 1 million, and that's already a good start, a good position for them to be holding. But knowing these teams and, you know, how we've been seeing them play over the past 2 matches, it's going to be quite a bit of work now for 1 million to still hold on to that position.
Yeah, that's right. So the position that they kind of selected right now makes it hard, but we do and have witnessed them choosing the zone very beautifully through game 1 and 2, and it looks like they got the best spot for now. Not being advantageous when the battle starts happening. So not to sit too comfy, as Ammo still holding the fort here for the rest of his enemy squad. And what to do as Saint moves out to try and get a better placement in that position. And he goes. Watching on them. Let's see if Ammo can get something while he gets fired upon and punished and sent back to the lobby from Lord. Oh my Lord sends him to heaven. See you in game number 4.
Yeah, and of course it is going to be the players here from DEATHXDOSE also finding themselves in a little bit of that hot seat play coming through. As we see the players there from Ninja stepping up, Shroud now just trying to tap away at the vehicle off in the distance. But unfortunately for them, you know, the players have already decided to move, you know, further afield. So they're not going to be hanging around there. So, you know, they're using their ammo, I won't say sparingly. They are, you know, just, you know, shooting a bit of that into the distance. And, you know, it's not really making the necessary connections that they've been hoping to make. But at least they have the opportunity now to still get themselves repositioned. Pac-Man needs to hope that they can find a few of those fruits along the way. Otherwise, that health bar will not be too favorable for them. And of course, speaking about favorable, we do see the players here from the ME Assassins also now positioned a little bit further afield, also just scanning the vicinity, looking to see if they can find a few of those sprays. They're, of course, coming in on towards that eastern side. They do have the players there from SG and CRYPTICS positioned up ahead of them, so they have to be somewhat cautious and not be too overly aggressive. We know this is Sanhok, and any small, minute mistakes, you get punished for those.
That's right, and normally from third-party squads, and saying the same names. So ME in the one zone, CRYPTIC on the other, and SG on the other side. You got something to deal with if you push in the wrong direction, no matter what Yusuf decides to do. So I think it's best that they just hold fort, because if you're too far in the open in Sanhok, you will get punished for it.
Yeah, and you will get a nice little smack, and not the kind of nice smacks, right? Well, I don't think there's ever a nice
not the
smack,
nice one.
But, you know, whichever way, it is going to be down to these teams now to get themselves a little bit better situated. We can see Yusuf now still looking to advance further and further forward, you know, looking over towards where the shots are being fired off by the CRYPTICS. But also we do have the players there from SG just positioned a little bit further down on towards that southern position. So Yusuf needs to be super cautious on this approach. As we can see the players here, Senpai and Co now just keeping their eyes, their ears, and their barrels and scopes open, ready to welcome anyone willing to push up towards them. You can see, of course, CRYPTICS still holding strong up ahead. And we can see Yusuf now starting to appear just off to the side.
Just popping up.
Yeah, a little bit off to that northern position.
That's right. You can't be too exposed, because one of the members from SG might just spot them and see it. It's very nice to see Tokyo coming back into play, and Senpai, dangerous players from SG showing and holding forward, especially when it comes to Sanhok. Like I said earlier, you don't want to show too much of yourself, especially you have a team like SG holding the fort. I think they actually have a good place, but let's see where the zone decides to go as the SG squad decides to shift and move away from this compound. Maybe trying to get Yusuf as he is out in the open before they get into that compound. There we go. Oh, Storm 51 takes one as he faces his back, and it's Yusuf that takes advantage of it. But the rest of the SG team is still out there, and he might have been marked as the rest of Savage still coming in there. So the game about to change. Can SG get away with this one?
Well, it's going to be a lot of pressure, right? Because SG needs to be super cautious about how they take this engagement. I mean, even looking at the players here from the ME Assassins, right? Yes, they have their attention focused on towards the players coming through there from SG, but this is a great opportunity now for CRYPTICS to come in and, you know, apply a little bit of that third-party pressure on towards them. And again, surprising to see quite a few teams still positioned out in towards the blue. So it does make the zone itself somewhat more manageable, right? Because there's not that many players to really try and contend against and fight against to try and lock in a decent position. You know, it is a little bit of a saving grace. We can see Cyrus now coming through with a beautiful shot right there on towards Savage. And now Yusuf losing one of their teammates there. Not quite sure whether or not Yusuf and Reno will be able to make a beautiful comeback from this. We do have Rostam also now looking to inch their way a little bit closer. We do see one of the players there. Oh, position up ahead. Beautiful hits right onto the snakes.
Yeah, that's right. So what an amazing rotation that was done here from Rostam on the outside. Storm OSG not expecting anyone to come from the back and spoil the little bit of flavor, thinking that they can get Yusuf all in the open. But what an amazing rotation as he opens himself up to violence. As Senpai just elims him, sends him back to the lobby. We still have Yusuf and Reno still in game. Let's see what action can come in as the nades get cooked.
Yeah, it is going to be Senpai and Storm now. Looking to hold on. Yusuf and Reno looking for an angle to try and play this from. And here we go. A little bit of that shuffle back and forth. Great opening for Reno now to come rushing on forward. Picks up the trade on towards Senpai. And with that, it is going to be SG who gets eliminated. But now, CRYPTICS in a great position where they can also now look to apply a little bit of that third-party pressure. We can see players there from the ME Assassins now just off in the distance. And Senke and the rest of the squad now still just cautiously holding on to their positions. Not going to be looking to, you know, hand out any freebies along the way. Speaking about that, of course, is going to be the players here from 7E and the team here from Black Zone. Also finding themselves in a little bit of an exchange, a little bit of a back and forth tussle, if you could say so. But again, it is a somewhat cautious approach, right? Nothing overly aggressive going through from these teams.
Yeah, so I think each team is holding their composure, and I think that is experience coming in right there, not sending too much whistles, so to give their focus and their position away, so that they can at least change a tactic, do a rotation, find a better placement, so they can do the spread. But as we're looking at Savage here, punching the air, I'm just making sure that he can choose the right spot. I wonder what he could be saying to the rest of his squad, as the zone could be pushing them into a little bit more of a contentious battle moving forward.
Well,
plays coming in.
Oh, look at the rest of the team here from 7E. We can see just up ahead there, Savage. Now just trying to keep a slow, cautious approach. But of course, speaking about the cautious approach, right? We do have the players here from CRYPTICS also now just trying still to kind of lock in their play up in towards that northeastern position. We did see one of the players there from Ninja actually sneaking up behind them. Also, Black Zone trying to see if they can find any angles through towards the players there from 7E. Savage and the rest of the squad now are going to get left behind. Blue Zone is closing on through, and this is going to be the opportunity now for the players here from Black Zone to get themselves a little bit further established in towards that zone. CRYPTICS now also starting to roll on through. We got Lazy Boy making a little bit of an aggressive push up alongside the players here from Saint. So let's see whether or not CRYPTICS will be able to get any of this locked on through. Meanwhile, one of the players there from Shock, getting hit. Lazy Boy getting taken down, and now up for the rest of the squad here as the CRYPTICS come rushing forward to try and save their teammate. Black Zone also feeling the pressure, feeling that sting coming in, but let's see who will be the next team to survive this. We got Pixis and Moriarty coming through there for Black Zone, and of course CRYPTICS down to 3. It is going to be El Chapo, Marshall, and Senke. Fortunately for them, the ridgeline is working in their favor, so they are able to try and pull that res off.
Yes, it is. So Black Zone thinking that they had the advantage, not knowing that 1 million is waiting just on the ridgeline as they move toward a 70 unknown, possibly going to get wiped out. Too early to tell just yet, as the Blue Zone keeps pushing them in a little bit of a negative position. Finding yourself in water at this point of Sanhok is not the best place to be right now. Chapo holding the fort down like he does in the cartel, just making sure that nothing is too easy for the rest of the squads to take him
Yeah,
out.
and of course we know CRYPTICS, they are going to be pushing to get themselves locked into that top 3 position, but looking at what the Saints have been able to do to them, I'm not quite sure how much of a survivability we'll be seeing coming through there from them. I mean, Saint also now trying to deal with that blue zone pressure coming through. You can see a little bit of a shift coming in with regards to that zone. Nothing too extravagant, nothing too crazy, but again, the team's still having to try and focus on getting themselves situated. As we can see, the players there from ME Assassins also feeling that sting coming in. Reno now being the last remaining hopeful, as we can see them situated over on towards that eastern side. Shock just a little bit further down south. But look at that beautiful zone bless now for the players there from 1 million, right? All they got to do is hold on to that compound and, you know, just not worry too much about the DEATHXDOSE, who we see also occupying the other compound situated over towards the eastern side of zone. Yeah.
That's right. So holding the fort on the west and on the east is Dose going to get the daily dose of eliminations, as we see someone from Saint just getting eliminated and sent back to the lobby. But like I said earlier, what an amazing zone 1 million can actually do as they find themselves in the best position on the high ridge zone in Sanhok. And using the word safe isn't really the word I would choose, especially when it comes to the Sanhok map itself. Nowhere is safe. As we see it right now, Lord sending people back to the lobby, almost trying to take full advantage of anyone in the open.
I mean, that was just absolutely disgusting to see that come through there from Lord. But you know what? Like, I was waiting for someone to bring in a play like that. Of course, we got Tibri now just looking to push up on towards Sai. Sai now just trying to get out. Comes in with a beautiful strafe, and with that, picks up. Oh, I mean, picks up Tibri, and with that, it is now going to be up to Julio to try and lock in that performance. Sai now going to continue to just try and ride out the storm. We can see the squad here from 1 million up ahead. Up comes those Utils. Oh, Makari just narrowly missing the opportunity to send that nade through the window. It came so devastatingly close, but unfortunately, Sai, quick to react, comes in with a little bit of that retaliation, picks up the trade, but now the pressure is on. They need to keep their focus just locked on in. We've got the players here from the DEATHXDOSE also looking to kind of deal with their own troubling situation, as we got Kayla now also just huddled up in the building. Up comes that blue zone push. We can see Sai now trying to advance a little bit further forward. Spots 1 million, comes in with a spray, picks up E-Flex. Beautiful hit, and with that, it is going to be the final blow being dealt as they now too get sent away. It is still El Chapo riding it out in that blue zone. Hasn't been able to find a good approach, a good angle just yet. Still has about 8 meds left to go. But now, as we can see, it is going to be the players here from DEATHXDOSE also hearing death knocking at their door. Not quite sure what they're going to try and do about this, but the pressure is definitely on.
That's right. I think placement like now is the best if you can use your mids to the best of your ability, as we witnessed the mid game between El Chapo and Elam, as we see that, so it never really worked for him. But this blue zone, he's like Pac-Man, it bites and it hurts. It's one of the players from 1 million just gets knocked in the blue zone, not going to make things easy. As Makari try and get it in and gets a knock while we speak. Even Elam's to their name right now, DK.
Yeah.
Wonder if they can hold it.
Yeah,
they had zone all this time.
They're looking pretty good, though. I mean, they're definitely in quite a contentious position, right? They still have all 4 players up. Everyone's health bar is at least around about that 60% point. And Makari coming in with a very risky approach there, now trying to bring in those jump shots. And now we can see the players here from Black Zone trying to kind of go toe-to-toe with them. But unfortunately, the spray down working out in favor there of 1 million. With Makari being the only player really to get knocked on down. But now, this is the opportunity for 1 million to just come rolling on through. We can see one of the players there from 7E also just trying to ride out that blue storm. But now this is 1 million's game to try and take that winner-winner chicken dinner. The only team they have to try and deal with is going to be the players coming through there from Shock. As you can see, those repositionings coming in. Bedri getting traded. Down they go. And with that now, Shock down to their final remaining hopeful. But that blue zone just laying down absolute devastation as 1 million gets eliminated. And Shock still in this match.
That's right. So we were talking about zone position, and 1 million just gets blue wiped into the lobby, shockingly holding the fort, coming in to at least within the 5th and 4th place. So yeah, things are going crazy. I think there's some mid battles going in the blue zone, as we're seeing Pedro being revived and brought back to life. 1 million, unlucky, man. Notice no reward, I guess.
Yeah, and now it's down to Savage, the final player left to try and beat that blue storm, as we see the players here from Shock holding strong. I mean, they've got the zone, they've got the safe area to play in, and now it's up to Shock, or rather Savage now, just to try and out heal this, already secured in that 2nd position. But we've seen this change, right? We've seen teams thinking that they've got full possession of zone and actually getting a surprise play being sent towards them. But looking at Savage position, I don't think anything is going to come from this really, as Savage is now just signing off, getting ready to bid their farewells. And with that, it is going to be the end of the road as Savage now also joins the rest of the team back in the lobby, and the players there from Shock come in with a little bit of that shock and awe approach, holding on to the zone. And of course, locking in that winner chicken dinner. 7 eliminations being brought in alongside the chicken dinner there. 7E taking 2nd place there with not a single elimination to their name. Of course, walking away with those placement points. You can see CRYPTICS still putting in a strong effort. El Chapo with that hill strat, being able to secure the team a 3rd place finish with 6 eliminations. And of course, we've got the players there from Mad Knight up in 4th place. 1 million taking 5th place. Fortunately, at least also picking up 9 eliminations along the way. Black Zone finishing on 4, so that's definitely not a bad run. The same can be said for the players here from STERNE, also finishing on 4 eliminations, all the way over in 8th place. We got the ME Assassins also then concluding their match with 4 eliminations. Saint picking up 5, going out in 10th place. But then as we look a little bit further down, you know, it was still a little bit of a scarce run here for the team situated further in. And of course, our stars of the match are none other than Kiel and Pedri coming through for the side there of, well, Shock, right? What a shock that is to see them finishing in these positions, taking those stars of the match. But, you know, no surprise really to see such a strong representation coming in for the players here of Team Shock.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's right. I actually thought they were at a disadvantage for the minute, but their zone shift was scary and actually worked in their favor, and they actually did it very nicely. So one to Shock getting that winner chicken dinner, and also nice amount of elims to their name. We got, speaking about elims, 7E not getting any, but getting that placement, which was nice, pretty good, and then coming in there with El Chapo being sneaky, getting that 3rd place for the rest of the squad, getting a nice position and placement.
I mean, very satisfying action coming through on Sanhok once again. But that only means that we have one more match to go. Right, next up, we are going to be moving into our final match of the day, heading straight over on towards Erangel. So be sure to stay tuned, and we'll be with you guys in a short few minutes while we get our last bit of action. Of course, we'll also be showing you the results, hopefully, if everything works out the way it is intended to. But, well, without any further delay, we're going to be hopping into that break. So stay tuned, and we'll see you guys back shortly.
Go.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're getting ready to move into our final match of the evening. But of course, as per usual, we have to take a look at the standings to see what the point situation is and where these
Yeah.
teams currently find themselves. Of course, as we take a quick gander at that, we can see the players there from CRYPTICS holding on to
Ooh.
that pole position, 4 points ahead of 1 million, with the players there from Mad Knight hot on their heels. But I mean, they're looking at this, right? I think it's still going to be a very much neck and neck performance, especially for our top 6 teams, right? Because they are
I agree.
very much in contention, right? We can see all the way from that 27 up to 48. I mean, that's only 21 points difference, but that can change in one single match.
That's right. So we're going back home to your angle, so anything can change. Look at the totals moving all the way down to team number 6, CRYPTICS, getting the LZ, bringing themselves into top position, which is beautiful, just above 1 million who held it through most of the night. But yeah, so if SPAZA, for example, gets a little bit of placement or some elims like they normally do, that could change things up. Same with Black Zone as well, and everything can change depending on what they do now in game number 4. So I am a wreck right now. I don't exactly know where this might go. It makes it nice and exciting. But you are right, all the way from 6, maybe even 7th, if it depends exactly how things change. But yeah, it spices things up, makes it nice and interesting. And let's see exactly where these teams can take it. CRYPTIC need to put and hold their foot ground and see exactly if 1 million can do the same.
Yep.
Get that big one.
There's going to be a lot of work having to be put in here now for the teams to try and secure those positions. But I mean, we also did see the players there from Saint holding on to that 9th position, sitting on a grand total of 17 points. Now, I mean, the
Yes.
reason for me why I say it's between those top 6 teams is because if you look at the balance of their eliminations with regards to their placement points, they've been super
Right?
aggressive. They've been able to dial it in. So I'm expecting that kind of, continuity to come through from them as they make their way into this final match. You know, looking at where 7E
Yeah.
find themselves, yes, they've been able to garner a lot of placement points, but they've only had 4 eliminations. Right now, moving into this final phase, this last match, right, you cannot afford to not be aggressive, right? You have to play it
No.
strategically, but you have to try and grab any potential opportunities that you can find along the way.
I completely agree, and it's what we spoke about during the break. Is that consistency is key as the zone switches again. It makes things interesting, but at least we might have a 50-50 split. But yes, consistency is key. Things could change, but taking the long game could work. Choosing your fights and making it nice so you can not only get elims but placement. But I think elims can make the difference here in game number 4 in the finals to get that 1, 2, or 3 or 3rd place.
Yeah, 1, 2, or 3. That is going to be where the fight is
Yeah.
on for, right? So the team's definitely going to be looking
Yeah.
to try and heat it up as much as they possibly can. Already, we do see a little bit of that hot drop action coming through as well, right? We got a nice bit of congestion over on towards Malta itself. So
Look
we
at
do
that.
see the players there from 1 million as well as the team from 7E, and then of course. We got the players there from Mad Knight also holding up into the mix. A little bit of that hot drop action also over on towards Lipovka, right? So we got the players there
Bofka.
from
Yeah.
ME Assassins, as well as the players then coming through from STERNE. So there's going to be several points of interest here, but of course, you know, we're going to be just looking around to see where the first few hits start popping off, so we can make our way in that direction to get a bit of a glance as to what these teams are
Yeah.
looking to bring in this last match.
Yeah, it could happen anywhere. Like now, if you're looking at the box with the squad just sitting over there, and we know what actually they can bring. As I just saw at number 4, just as I mentioned, just next to me, the mansion area. So whether they choose long play or get that action first to get that elims, that is what is going to be on count right now.
Yeah, and at the end
Buying
of the day,
vehicles.
it's all that counts, right? It's all that counts.
That's
Whether
right.
or not they can find those elims already, the players here from ME Assassin off to a great start, picking up that first trade. But now this is going to be an interesting position because, as we've mentioned, right, we got the players from Stone positioned just up ahead. So there is a possibility that Stone can find themselves in a little bit of a dire position, but
Could be.
looking at their numbers advantage, at least held up in towards Lipovka, you know, they still have a really strong chance to be able to defend from the advances coming through here from the ME Assassins. But of course, as we know, that zone has taken a shift over on towards the western side, so the teams will now start hopefully prioritizing their rotations instead of getting too caught up with, trying to pick up some early game eliminations.
Yeah, well said, well said. So placement, getting that a nice position and finding yourself home, at least close to the zone or within a nice property section where things will be safe, would probably be the best move right now. I think everything is risk, but risk normally pays off if you play it off wisely. We see Emmy and Savage trying to get and move on. I think the best choice for them right now is to probably get some loot, get the rest of the squad, instead of taking this battle head on right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not the kind of position you want to get yourself caught into, as we can see the players here from DEATHXDOSE already starting to move in anticipation of the advances, of ME assassins coming through. You see Ghost there from 7E falling down. We also have Sai getting taken right on down. So with that, the 3-player team coming through here for DEATHXDOSE already now getting reduced down to only 2, with a few knocks coming in there with the vehicle, as well as the teams are continuing to keep the pressure and the tensions high. But it is now going to be Savage looking to rush on forward on the opposite end, finding a beautiful trade there on towards 9. And now it is down to Medprime, the final hopeful now for DEATHXDOSE to try and keep up, a stern approach.
Yeah, that's actually a good way of putting it. So this is not prime for my position to be in now. Low. Exactly at this stage of the game, so it will obviously put them on the back foot. Not going to get any good results unless Prime decides to choose some Prime property and move away from where he is, which I doubt is going to happen. He doesn't go down fighting. He sends a message. And message returned. Look at that.
Yeah.
Reno just ending it and sending him back to the lobby, and that's all cheered out for them. Having a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, that's it all. That's all. That's all the action. Thank you so much for joining in. We're gonna call it right there. Game, set, match. But yeah, I mean, a good show of aggression coming through here from the players of the ME Assassins. Already sitting on those 4 eliminations, and with that, we know it was one player that they traded off a little bit earlier on, as well as the entirety then of the players there from DEATHXDOSE. So a really good approach, a good play coming in there for them. All they got to do now is look to get themselves repositioned a little bit further up in towards the zone. Speaking about repositioning, it is up to the final surviving hopeful of 7E, good old Savage here, to try and bring in a little bit of a stronger performance, because as we know, it is going to be a pretty tough play to try and make. You're looking at the kind of positioning that we've got for the teams held up in the vicinity. As we can see, Savage now opting to push a little bit further in towards the zone. I mean, center zone is nearly dead quiet, right? We only have 2 teams close towards that bridge, that western bridge. But we do see several more teams still having to rotate on through. And this is where we're going to be having a lot of that tension kind of coming through, as the teams are still kind of vying for their positions moving into the zone.
That's right. So gaining position all the way on the eastern side of the map. The majority of the teams still have to come in. So it's going to make things difficult if Savage here all on his own. Could probably work out for him if he plays it nice and quietly. Try and get prime position, and might not get eliminated at this point of the game. Looking at Smokey right now, sitting in the dead blue. Already the squad losing one of their members at this point of the game. Going up against Sinus. Let's see if they can actually hold it down. CRYPTICS, pardon me. Did I just say Sinus? Yeah, so CRYPTICS moving on the outside, making sure that they can get a full rotation on Smokey. And let's see if it's going to be an early Smokey night for him. Or not.
I mean, not only is it Smokey that's positioned here, but it is the rest of the team coming through for NUVEM. And with that, it is going to be the players from CRYPTICS to get a clean sweep as they just come rolling on forward, just blazing their way on in, picking up those 3 eliminations. And now they can just, focus on getting themselves situated back in towards the zone. Speaking about the zone, of course, it is going to be the players here from Ninja, now right there towards that western bridge. So a very centralized position coming in here for them. And now they can look to bring in a little bit more of that fortification in anticipation of the rest of the teams, still rolling on in. But of course, looking at the kind of playable area that we have, we can see a big majority of the west being entirely open for the taking. The same, of course, can be said for
Yes, it
that
is.
Sosnovka military island. Aside from the players from Saint, do we see there? You know, there's no one else really occupying that space. So it's going to be interesting to see where these teams are going to be looking to roll into.
Yeah, that's right. So it's normally what the zone decides to do, as we see the squads here from the Ninja doing something similarly identical to game number one, trying to hold the fort. But I think patience is what is key right now. See where the zone decides to go and where it might. You see your prediction game comes in to try and be on the other side of the zone. I don't want to put my money on it, but it might be a military finish as the zone might move south. That would make things interesting.
Yeah,
I think everything right now at this stage is tactical, DK.
Yeah, it's going to require a lot of precision, especially if it moves into that mini base. Speaking about the precision, it's going to be up to Savage now to get that precision absolutely dialed on in. Going toe-to-toe, 1v4 of the players here from 1 million looking to push on forward. We do see the players there from SG also now in the field, in the feed rather. Feeling a little bit of that pressure come through as Cyrus now gets eliminated, gets sent away. It's up to Savage now still to try and hold off the defenses here. Up comes 1 million, but it's not going to be enough as they come in with the absolute overpowering performance there. And unfortunately, it's going to be the end of the road for 7E.
Yeah, that was completely overwhelming from 1 million. What a hard and nice tactical push that was done from them. And that's exactly what I said earlier, that he doesn't want to find himself being the solo man in the position that he is right now. So could have chosen a different position. Might have worked out a little better for him. Unfortunately not.
Yeah.
1 million coming through strong.
Might have, coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? There's a lot of, you know, what ifs that we could talk about here. But of course, something that's definitely not a what if is going to be the amount of Lamborghinis
I love it, man.
we have right here. I mean, 1 million. That's probably what they paid to get all these cars right here. So this is one of the few instances where a team's name is actually quite fitting as to what we're seeing happening here. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to know how much they spent to get all of those locked in, but you know what? GG, well done.
Yeah,
well
man.
played.
Yeah, if you can do it, man, pull off that convoy of Lamborghinis and let's not choose any other color but green. That's exactly the way that we're going to bring it out.
Speaking about green, right? We are hopping straight over on towards the players here from Black Zone. Their color, of course, being green. Not that their name reflects anything green, but they do find themselves in a little bit of a position here. And they do have a little bit of a few visitors coming in across the hillside. Is none other than the players coming through from the ME Assassins. So we can see them now just quickly, hastily trying to bring in that reposition. But again, this is where things now are getting quite interesting, right? We did see at the spread of the teams, and we didn't have a lot of teams really situated up in towards the zone. But now the teams continuing to advance as they look to push in towards the zone. Players here from 1 million also now just starting to circle around the squad from Mad Knight. We can see them occupying the compound just on the side. So it is going to be a little bit of a risky run for 1 million to get a good position to call home, especially seeing that they are pulling onto the beaches here. And we do see Makari also now getting a few blows down up towards them. But up comes Escanor. Not quite sure where Escanor is going to be looking to push, but it's a very exposed play.
Yes, it is. I agree completely. This is exposed. I know that we're doing a bit of recon to find the best place. Not working out so well for one of their members right now and leaves them with 2 and 1 elim to their name as we're looking at 11 teams and 41 members remaining. Yes, so it is about placement, finding yourself in the best part of the zone. But mostly, as you can see, Esquinal probably putting himself at a disadvantage again as the other squad is just watching him drive by.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a bit of a tough decision. I'm not quite sure whether or not Escanor's trying to play a little bit of that bait and switch, or, you know, just trying to lure anyone out into the open. So far, fortunately, Escanor is able to drive around. You know, it's not often that you can see one of these vehicles actually driving off-road. So fortunately, that is, you know, a little bit of reality in PUBG, which is great, I guess. I don't want to pay for those tires. But of course, speaking about that, I mean, you can see the players here from 1 million. They are not even too phased by that that drop being pretty close to them. You know, they're just going to be driving past it, just going to go like, you know what, it's fine. The drop can just stay there. Instead, we'll be looking to get ourselves set up in towards these compounds. But they got to be careful now because we can see so many teams actually starting to move in.
Yeah, they're being surrounded right now by multiple teams on the outside. So I don't know if this is the best choice to see exactly how it goes if they hold the fort as the guys are staring down at Escanati turning the same skewed look. But the green Lamborghini is a complete giveaway. I
Yeah.
don't know. How do you hide that thing?
Yeah, that's definitely not something you used to be subtle with, right? Maybe it blends into
No.
the background, you know, the terrain being grass and all that. Uh, let's go with that. Let's say that's kind of the exact
Yeah.
approach that they're looking to go for. But speaking about blending in, right? We can see Yusuf now also just trying to blend into this wizard tower, getting ready to potentially grab that Tesla and just get themselves the heck out of that position as CRYPTICS are starting to roll down that potato hill, looking for you know, a few trades to
Yeah.
pick up
Yeah.
along the way. But of course, that also only means that we are having the next phase being mere moments away, as we can see Yusuf now finding themselves
We
in a
go.
little bit of trouble as those hits come through. The rest of the team also trying to get themselves a little bit closer. You know, potentially trying to lend a bit of a hand there onto Yusuf, but it's not going to be enough as El Chapo comes in swinging. That zone also now just centering up even furthermore on towards that coastal line, on towards the cliffs.
Look at
And
that.
this is where the teams are really going to be challenged, looking to see if they can find a decent position to play from.
That's right. So majority of the teams, luckily enough for now, finding themselves in the northern edge of the zone. As you can see, there's a nice glacier split between South Millet area just below, and including a little bit of Potchinki and the rest of the map coming in. So everyone in a little bit of a contentious position. Nice gatekeeping could be happening as Reno doing a little bit of recon, moving along, trying to find the best place to be right now at this point in the zone. Probably going to move himself nice and central as team number 17 is just there on the outside.
Yeah, speaking about the outside, we still have the players here from 1 million and CRYPTICS also being a little bit too close for comfort to each other. But we got to wait and see how this potential engagement unfolds. Of course, it's going to be the players now there from the Mind Weapon looking to strike down on towards the Middle East Assassins as those heads continue to fly on through. But again, I mean, the Mind Weapon really taking an interesting position there. We even see one of their players sliding down the hill, as we can see Sido there, you know, just exploring the water a little bit, just trying to get their feet wet. But who knows, right? Maybe that might be like a you know, like a 2000 IQ play.
Yeah, it could be. I think it's more tactic than anything else. It can't just be random. Possibly trying to do a little bit of a rotational play, getting ahead of it, making sure that no one comes past that area or even to so that one can tap and then finish. Yeah, finding yourself in the position is pretty good. Clear from danger. You look at Sido's position.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with keeping the aggression on tap, right? And speaking about that, we do see the players from Saint and Shock
Coming in.
also getting into a little bit of a tussle here with Saint Sasa now trying to push in, but Shock now just laying on the aggression so thick. Quite a few hits now being exchanged back and forth. It is going to be up to Shebo now to keep up the defensive line here. Down they go, up to Pedri. It turns the final hopeful, but that rush is going to come on in. Let's see whether or not the players from Saint are going to be able to get the upper hand here. We still have Sasa just holding on to the very edge there. It is Lord now getting a confirmation on towards Sherbo. Not quite sure if those shots are going to come through. We do see Sido also now just popping it off in that feed, coming in with a little bit of that headshot action.
Third party.
But the players here from Saint, they're definitely finding themselves in quite a bit of a predicament, right? We got the team here from Dose also looking to just bring in the aggression.
Yeah, that's right. They had the advantage until the third-party squad just started coming in. They could have done a push onto the Shock squad, but they decided not to, trying to be reserved. And they could just be punished for it, as Lord is on his knees right now praying. This is not the end of the night for him. Pedri laying low, as he knows that that third-party squad of team number 10 is still on the outside. This is DEATHXDOSE serving their daily dose of death, making things completely difficult for Shock. As Shock, Pedri is sending a message saying that you cannot move anywhere further. And Sido just on the outside there as well, on the other side of the brain.
Yeah, they're trying to bring in that deathly dose of aggression, right? That I think that's kind of where we're heading with this one. As you know, looking at the position that they are playing, it is looking quite phenomenal. But of course, also then the players here from Twisted, from the Mind Weapon rather, finding some beautiful angles. We did see Sido picking up knock after knock on towards Reno. So I'm not quite sure what the approach is coming through there from Reno, but you know, some beautiful shooting coming in there from the Sido. And of course, now as we look on towards the rest of the players here from the Mind Weapon, they are getting pushed by the squad coming in there from, well, Mad Knight. Meanwhile, the situation over towards the players there from Shock will be starting to alleviate itself somewhat, not too contentious for the time being. But as we look on towards the players here, they do spot out the final remaining hopeful for Saint. And with that, we are down to our last 10 teams looking to fight it out for that winner chicken dinner. The Mind Weapon still going to be holding their position on towards those cliff sides, but they now have to be super careful because not only do they have the players there from Mad Knight, who we see moving in on towards that eastern front, but they still have the rest of the lobby also now just lined up ahead of them.
Yeah, nicely said. So thinking that they were only dealing with one team, choosing probably one of the most safest spots on the zone right now is Mind Weapon until Mad Knight coming in and can be a little bit aggressive, playing safe. Because everything's at stake right now. We're looking at these 10 teams with 34 players still available. But where exactly can Kratos try and get that elim from to try and push their team further from the zone?
Yeah, it's going to be a really challenging play. I have to agree with you on that one. I mean, even looking at what the players here from Ninja are doing as well, right? They are getting rushed over on towards this eastern side of the zone as they now step up and try and deal with the players here from Black Zone who come rushing on forward. 2 quick knocks being dealt there. 2 quick, easy eliminations also getting traded off. So with that, Ninjas, right, they are just welcoming whoever wants to venture towards them. They're just welcoming them in with open arms, open barrels, and open whatever else you can think of. But this is where they definitely need to look to try and kind of condense this position, right? Because we can see, yes, they've got 2 players in close proximity to each other, but then, of course, they've got Smokey Jod, which is quite some distance away.
Yeah, right. So being too far away might put one of the members too completely under pressure. Ninja is being nice and nimble, trying to take advantage there, but I see one of the players just taking a knock now, as we mentioned that. Full rotation from multiple squads in one area, one compound in open field. That's pretty dangerous. It can go anywhere right now.
Yeah, and of course, we can see the players here from CRYPTICS also quickly trying to deal with the team here from Mad Knight as the hits come through. 2 players already getting down. It's Kingerman and Agent 47. It now turns to Ammo and the Beast to try and keep it all together. Of course, tension's still looking pretty tough here with the players from Ninja as they're still looking to, you know, put up a bit of a fight against the DEATHXDOSE. They don't want to have what the doctor ordered. Instead, they want to try and bring in their own medicine. Will they be able to lock it in? We don't know just yet, but of course, the players here from DEATHXDOSE, they are definitely going to be looking to bring in a double dose if they can manage it.
Yeah, that's right. I think your best medication is served by yourself. Sometimes a doctor's medicine can backfire on you. So those playing it safe still at 3 squad members still surviving here in the 10th position. For now, trying to hold it out on 2 eliminations. Being in this part of the compound is pretty risky. I think it's a nice rotation, trying to split yourself. As you can see, SG's on the outside. Still, at this point, with 3 members still playing around, you can't mess around as the zone is going to push you forward as they're going to be gatekeeping any one of the teams that survives this battle.
Yeah, it is going to be a little bit of a stalemate over on towards this edge of the zone, at least over on towards the western side. So the players here definitely need to try and kind of figure out what their approach will be, right? The players here from DEATHXDOSE also going to be looking for that opening. We got SG also just positioned up on the hillside. I'm liking this position coming through here from Storm, though, right on the very edge of the zone. Good vantage point to be holding, but they still got to be super attentive of, or rather super wary of the team's position behind them, because even though they are holding a good position, that still doesn't, you know, amount to much. So they still have to utilize those positions and actually bring in those eliminations, and this is where things are going to get a little bit tough now, as we can see the players from DEATHXDOSE trying to evade a few of those hits as they come rushing on forward, and of course coming under immense fire. The pressure now on as the blue zone is going to be closing on up. The team's now having to reposition, get themselves back in towards the safety. We can see Mido now trying to find a good, decent approach, good angle to play from, but unfortunately they get isolated out in the open, and that is going to be the the end of the
In the
road
open.
as they have to pack their bags. Of course, CRYPTICS now just inching their way over on towards this eastern position, quickly managing to get themselves secured on through. Meanwhile, the players here from Mad Knight still is going to be riding out this blue storm. As we can see, Ammo is the last hopeful. 4 eliminations for the team, but quite a treacherous road still for them to try and get over.
Yeah, that's like a long road ahead with the blue zone putting you under pressure. Trying to fight as the lone gunman on their team is Ammo. So it's going to be difficult because he might just get sent back to the lobby for the rest of the squad. I wanted to bring it up that CRYPTIC playing a beautiful game, getting into the top 5 right now, sitting nice and comfy, full squad, 10 eliminations to their name, going to make the log looking beautifully and interesting as things goes and comes along. We have Marshall still playing around, trying to find the best place, probably trying to get some high ground on this building. Not successful at it. It's not working out that well for him. Trying to get a grip on it.
Yeah, and of course now speaking about trying these angles, we see Sido again coming in with that M24, trying to bring in those headshot tappity taps.
Yeah.
But of course, this is now where the mind weapon needs to use their weapons to their advantage and look to, reclaim a little bit of this ground. As we can see several more teams starting to rush on forward. It is going to be CRYPTICS now, just keeping the tension super high. We still have Marshall held up on that building. It is going to be Sido who gets spotted out. Down they go. Now we move on towards Snowfall and of course Kratos, the 2 final hopefuls for the team. The pressure is on, the rotations are coming through. Blue Zone is moving forward. We see Inflex now coming under fire. Kratos getting eliminated. It is going to be Marshall now just to bring in some absolute devastation as they rain down the aggression. The players here from 1 million still trying to hold on. We can see Inflex now positioned up behind that rock, trying to hold on for dear life. But CRYPTICS, they are not having any of this.
No, not at all. What an impressive gameplay so far from CRYPTICS, holding the fort. 1 million trying to hang on. We see 3 teams remaining right now. Shockingly sitting right now on the outside. I think it's go big or go home. We're at that point of the game with a full squad of CRYPTIC. That can go any way. I think CRYPTIC has it right now, but let's see if they can hold it down on Escanor, trying to smoke his way out of the position that he found himself in.
Yeah, well, Marshall definitely trying to lay it on thick. We got Pedri also just pushing away a bit closer. Still quite some distance away, but Marshall now having an absolutely phenomenal performance, kind of position as well coming through here. As you can see, CRYPTICS now finding that position on towards the players from Shock. 1 down, 2 more to go. And it is going to be Omar and Kill coming under a lot of pressure as they're trying to snake their way on forward, but CRYPTICS just holding on to the zone. They're not going to let anyone get into this without paying the price. They've set up those toll gates, and now they're going to claim their prize.
That's right, so CRYPTIC is holding receipts. They're not going to let anyone leave the center without paying their bill. We have Omar playing Snake, trying to keep it low and take advantage and see who comes out of the battle between 1 million and takes full advantage of El Chapo, who doesn't get and take any cover as they were focusing completely on 1 million. Smokes would be the best gameplay right now. See if you can take advantage of anything that comes. But the blue zone is going to hurt Omar. He needs to put himself, let's go big, go broke, Omar. Let's see if we can get it. He tries. Might just get the zone.
No.
Oh!
No. It is going to be Omar getting control alt deleted right there. And of course, now it is up to Eflex, the final player standing between CRYPTICS and that winner chicken dinner. Of course, the blue zone comes in to swoop on through and close it off. CRYPTICS walking away with that second winner chicken dinner and also 14 eliminations to accompany that. Absolutely phenomenal play coming in here from them. Of course, the players there from 1 million taking that second position with 6. We got the squad there from Shock, also then finishing on their 7 eliminations. We also then have the players there from the Mind Weapon taking that 4th position, coming in with 2 eliminations. And then, of course, Mad Knight up in 5th with 4 Kingerman, at least bringing in 3 for the team. Strangely enough, Black Zone finishing in 6th position, but not a single elimination to their name. So it was a little bit of a tough run, but of course, if we look here at our light, well, they weren't light at all with those shots, picking up the 4 eliminations along the way. I mean, ME Assassins also coming in with their 4 eliminations. And then as we look a little bit further on down, that is where things look a little bit worse for wear. But of course, our stars of the match are none other than Kill from Shock, being our MVP with those 5 elims, finding
Yeah.
more damage than what El Chapo and Senke were able to bring on in. So a good play coming through there. Of course, sitting on 758 damage dealt. And of course, then we got Rostom coming in there for the ME Assassins, being our best companion. And we know the final blow was dealt by the lovely Blue Zone. So no prize
Zone.
there, sadly. I'm pretty sure by this point in time, Blue Zone, if Blue Zone were a player, it would probably have been one of the richest players in the world.
That's right. MVP all the way. Legend is the Blue Zone.
Yeah, definitely, you know, the greatest MVP that we've never seen, that we can never
Yeah.
speak to, it's going to be the Blue Zone. So, but again, I got to say, a really strong performance coming in there from CRYPTICS, really driving it home, ensuring that they finish exceptionally well in this very last match. I mean, they are eager, they are hungry, they want to secure themselves the position moving in towards the Continental Finals. And I do think with a performance like we just saw coming through from them in this last match,
Oh,
I,
yeah.
I do think they could be, you know, pretty secure in the approach, you know, for locking that in. But of course, we won't know until we see the official overall standing. So we're just going to be waiting for that to come on through. But now, Dale, this is what I'm going to ask you, Ryan. What was your standout performance out of these 4 matches that we've seen so far?
Okay, it's a good thing that you asked me about performances because I was going to say the one that outperformed a lot of the players today was our invisible friend, the Zone, as Zones made things unpredictable. But what I can say is that 1 in a million did a nice showing. What an amazing showing from 1 in a million today. But CRYPTIC bringing it all the way back, possibly holding it and getting us that top position in the log. So, yeah, some amazing gameplay that came through. Nice game reads. You got zone reads that was amazing. Especially from 1 in a million and CRYPTIC. We had a couple of squads holding the fort, also getting some eliminations. But as you can see, CRYPTIC and 1 million did not make it easy for anyone out there, especially one of the top teams that we do normally see regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a pretty much neck and neck performance across the board, right? If we look at the standings we had before this last match, right? We can see that the CRYPTICS were already sitting up in pole position on 48 points, right? 1
Yeah.
million, as you said, also a very contentious performance coming in there from them, and an absolutely beautiful balance with regards to eliminations and placement points, right? Sitting on 22 points either side. So a strong play coming in there. And then, of course, look at Mad Knight, right? They're sitting up in the top 4, being the only team that has not yet found a winner chicken dinner. Just a few points, 3 points ahead of the players coming through there from Shock. But I got to say, all puns aside, Shock bringing in still a very shocking performance, right? There was a lot of that shock and awe kind of play coming in from them. We did see them, just piling up the aggression at certain points.
No, I completely agree. Shocking coming to play tonight. Showing us exactly what they're all made of. The amount of eliminations that they got, nice positioning, nice play. That is the other team that I wanted to refer to that didn't make things easy for any one of the squads, including 1 million and CRYPTIC. So yeah, Shock obviously getting chicken dinner in game number 3. So yeah, and make things difficult. Look at that points, man. It's gonna switch things up very, very hectically. And who knows? We'll have to see until everything is drawn up and pulled together. Mad Knight also holding it down. So I'm biting my nails, man. I'm biting my nails, DK. I don't know. Where do you think this is gonna go?
Well, all I can say is if you're biting your nails, there's there's medicine for that. I do believe there's a nice little balm that you can put on. But of course, we also have to take a look at the second page, right? Before we draw any conclusions, looking at the performances we had, right? The players there from the Mind Weapon, they were also stepping it up, quite substantially coming into this final performance. So it's great to see the teams just kind of flexing a little bit, just showing us their talents. It's a little bit sad that they didn't do that earlier because it would have been really nice to see the teams making this a very tough fight. Not that it wasn't tough. I still believe it was quite a challenging play coming in, but had we seen the performances we saw in this last match from the teams a little bit earlier on, I do think this leaderboard would have looked completely different.
Yeah, it would have probably made it even worse, I think. Yeah, Team Ninjas and Mind Weapon coming in through. Saint also cannot count them out as well. They might find themselves a little bit higher in the position or in this poll. But yeah, can't count anyone out because they made it nice and interesting, especially with the battles towards the compound areas, holding the fort on the final round. But they could have come in a little bit earlier, but shoulda, woulda, coulda, I guess.
Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda, border, barracuda. Like it could have gone either which way. But of
Could
course,
have.
like at the end of the day, it's all going to be determined when we see our final few results getting calculated to see where these teams have ended up with their last bit of a push coming in,
Yeah.
and what the total tally is. And it's just a matter of time before we find out who our next three teams will be to join the
Yeah.
6 teams that have already advanced through in towards those continental finals. And just to remind the viewers once again, the teams that have already made their way through is going to be Slime 4KT, the Snipers, as well as YT Gaming coming in from the Western Region qualifiers, or the Western Region finals. I don't know why I said qualifiers, but you know what? It all qualifies for
That's all right.
something at the end of the day. And we've got the players then from Virtual Gaming, One More Esports, as well as Darkness coming through from the Northern region. So this is going to be the decided to see who the central teams will be. And then, of course, we still have
Yeah.
2 more regions to go, right? We still have the Southern region as well as the Eastern region to play through to see which will be our final few teams to make it up in towards our continental finals. As we know, we are going to be having 16 teams, so 15 teams will be advancing through from these regionals. And then, of course, there will be one invited team, which is going to be a little bit of a surprise because even as we're
Yeah.
sitting here, I still have no idea who the invited team is. So, I think they're keeping it as a surprise to,
I like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that. It makes things nice and mysterious, and that's what makes this continent so beautiful. We're so huge. We can include all directions, including Central and a Ghost Squad as an invitee team. I think that's what makes it nice and interesting. Magnificent.
Yeah, definitely magnificent, definitely interesting, and yeah, I mean, like I said, we're just gonna be waiting for those results to come on through. We have been experiencing a little bit of network related issues today with the internet running
Mm,
at absolutely warp speed across the board, which is, no surprise really. I do think we've kind of grown accustomed to that by now. It's nothing really out of the ordinary. So we are just, trying to, whoa, never mind, right? Just as I was saying that, uh, with the results come through. So I'm just quickly
oh,
loading them up so we can actually show
yeah, let's do
them.
it.
But while I do that, Dale, perform your party
Yeah.
trick. I'm joking.
And yeah, let's do it. No, no. Look, I think look. The stream went pretty well. I think it's just we're so used to it. It's especially during winter. It can take a knock. But like I say, we like keeping things diversified. And as you see, the log should be coming up pretty soon as DK is being busy with that. But no, unfortunately, not on the stream. We have to add an age restriction if I'm gonna have to do my party trick.
Oh, well, that's a pity. But of course, what's not a pity is the results. We can see
Woo!
our second page up first, right? We got the players there from Saint still holding on to that 9th position. We got the ME Assassins, the Mind Weapons, and the likes, all situated over on towards the second page. But the more important page to look at is going to be that first page, right? And
Let's go.
without any
Drum roll.
further, wait, there was a no. Okay, it seems like there's an update to this page. So let me update this
Oh wait,
page. All right. So we did
I
have
like
a
updates.
post, but then it changed again. So let's see what the change is. Any major changes? I can't spot the difference really, but whichever way, that's it. That's the new update. As we can see, if you can spot the difference, please let me know because oh wait, I see it. Okay, Saints on the previous image I shown had 17, now it's 19. ME
Ah,
Assassins
okay.
had 12, now it's 17, 11, 15, etc., etc. Okay, Thanks. You know, it helps if I watch the stream myself as well, right? Thanks, DK. You're so clever. But either which
Well done,
way,
DK.
of course, we are going to be showing the first page, and without any further ado, there we go. There we have it. It is going to be CRYPTICS 1 million, and the players there from Shock to come through with some absolutely glorious performances, coming in with 77, 62, and 56 points respectively. But of course, Mad Knight still being in pretty close contention there. I mean, finishing only 4 points behind Shock.
Yeah, 4 points. That's a nail-biter. What a clinch. CRYPTICS, 1 million. Shock. I'm not surprised with the gameplay that they did this evening. It was amazing. CRYPTICS holding the fort, 1 million, trying to hold on to that top position, but getting taken away. Shock Esports just keeping it in there within third place. I don't know, within fourth position. Look at that, man. That's crazy. If you see a cut that close, I'd have said I'd have fought slightly harder. But yeah, it is what it is. CRYPTICS 1 million and Shock coming in there.
I mean, that cut is so close it could almost have been a paper cut, right? It's so close, right? So such a narrow kind of one coming through there.
Yeah.
You know, but well, yeah, either which way, well done. Big congratulations going out to our teams that will be moving through and joining our 6 other teams that have already been able to secure themselves a position moving in towards this continental finals. Now, speaking of that, of course, be sure to join us back on Wednesday, 2 days from today. We will be moving into our next region. So if I'm not mistaken, that should be the southern region. They'll be stepping up and showcasing their talents out here on the battlefield. So if there's any of those teams that you are supporting, that you know come from the southern region or that have qualified into the southern region, be sure to join us back onto the broadcast here. And it's going to be pretty exciting to see what these teams are going to be bringing through. But until then, I hope you guys all have an absolutely phenomenal evening. Hope you have a great time. If it's winter where you are, good luck. Stay warm. If it's summer, don't talk to me, please. I'm a little bit jealous. But of course, either which way, I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing time. We look forward to seeing you all back again when we return with the action on Wednesday. So until then, stay safe, stay good, and stay frosty.
Yeah, man.